It's four the break. I think four got hit first. Corn big. Corn emoji big. Old squad. We gotta watch it. Yeah, yellow down low. Stop the time. Yeah, big I'm dead broke. $1 in my name. Dude, Dave's coming. Is Dave actually coming? Is Dave coming? Oh, Sunday. fully like blue or gray now. People got behind her and grabbed him. Too wide to get out the window. Great. That's like $10. I know. Going to Vegas is like going to the Kissimmee. Like it's like new life. Maybe the old strip, the new strip is very good. But the food is like the best in the world. Better than break. Shot a lot of paint last night. Up, though. Hey, go get them, boys. Is that including penalties or not? That is including penalties. Yeah,
Welcome back, 2018 NCPA Championships. I'm Matty Marshall alongside Kevin Catfish Arcia. So Catfish, right now we have the returning champions heading out to play in this next set. And it's going to be Florida Atlantic University Owls taking on the defending champs, the University of Central Florida Knights. And the Florida Knights have returning a lot of starters.
Oh, definitely. They they got, like 5 returning starters, I believe, out of their 7. So, I mean, they got a pretty solid squad. And, you know, these guys play each other throughout the whole season because, you know, home field advantage, I guess. Not really.
Yeah, got a chance to talk to Zach Daughtry, who is a big star for them now, returning as a coach. He feels very confident about their team's chances. Had a little stumble against Akron this morning, but out here on the main court right now, ready to throw down against FAU. FAU also a team that historically has done pretty well here at this event. They have won this tournament before, but it's been a while. Taking on the defending champs, who are on the top of your screen. FAU in the blue. Also looking for Justin Bedford. Zach said that he's the guy. I mean, they got a lot of really good, talented players on the Central Florida Knights, but apparently Justin Bedford has emerged as the best of the bunch. So we'll see how it goes. And it looks like the first to drop a body is going to be FAU here on the snake side of the field. Oh, and they drop a body out of D1. So Catfish, not a good start here for FAU.
No, not a good start. I mean, you got Luton walking off for FAU, one of their killers out of the snake. Looks like the Knights looking to push down the snake and possibly take advantage of this.
I think Zudell just got shot out, trying to get out wide here on the snake side, so the Knights do throw a body away. It's now 4-on-3, still in favor.
Looks like the Owls coming up the Dorito side, trying to look for that cross-field shot on the snake now.
Ooh, but getting taken out. Looks like that was Evoli, a.k.a. Ravioli, as he has to take the slow walk off. Not looking good again for FAU as they do a desperation run. The back corner bump for snake side. He makes it in clean, so 2 bodies left alive for them. They have spread the field, but a high body situation right now for the Knights.
Looks like FAU looking to push the Dorito side.
Yeah, no one's picking him up either.
No.
There's nobody looking at D2 for the Owls right now. If he could sneak a shot in, could turn the tables on this point.
Look like that's Ferguson. On the Dorito side, you know, it doesn't say Ferguson on the jersey, but that I've been told that is Ferguson.
So it looks like Bonsky, Steven Boski actually making a big fill into the center 50 brick and then move into the snake.
Okay, we got Ryan for the Owls back here. Oh, it looked like he bounced off his arm.
Yeah, so Bolbot in the snake for Central Florida. So stacking up in these center positions. We've seen that throughout this tournament so far. It's been relatively easy for the teams that are willing to attack to get into, especially easy when they're only looking at 2 bodies.
Yeah.
But just in general, to get up to these 50s, they found a way to do it. It's just where do you go from there has been the question for some of these guys. I've seen bodies get chopped up trying to get past the red zone into your opposing team's white zone. And that's what we're looking at right here, is you have the Knights in the snake 50, at the brick as well in the red zone. And there goes the body dropping off the back corner bumper on the snake side. And here comes the pain for D2 as he gets run down. That was a pretty good first point here for the Knights.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like the FAU came out strong, but they got stalled up, dropping those 2 bodies off the break. Looks like the Knights are definitely got their lanes picked out.
One of the favorites here, of course, the returning champs. And not only are they returning champs, but returning so many of the same guys. Justin Bedford, Cheatham, Casey Cheatham, which great paintball name. Hearing good things about Michael Morales, Alex Zudell, and Kirkuk as well. Michael Kirkuk. So that's a pretty stacked University of Central Florida Knights here to try to defend their title. 7 minutes, 44 seconds to go. We've seen some longer points out here, believe it or not. We've seen some quick points, but it's looking like when you get 5 bodies alive out there, it takes a while for the teams to position. And there goes Zudell with the run through on that D side of the field.
And, you know, both these teams know each other, so, you know, these points are definitely going to run long. You know, they looking to get those key eliminations off the break before anyone makes any moves.
Yeah, we are seeing bodies drop off the break mostly from the D side. You can see there the rankings as UCF, though they are the defending champs. Liberty is the #1 ranked team, so UCF ranked number 7 heading into this match with FAU, 8 overall. So on paper, relatively close match between these teams.
You know, definitely close.
We have seen, like we said, as we started this game, we've seen some really great games between these 2 squads over the years here in college paintball.
And definitely a big advantage bringing back the same starting players, you know. big advantage over the schools that, you know, keep losing their players as they are graduating. But both these teams have 5 returning players.
You could see here earlier today when I mentioned that UCF had a little stumble to Akron. They basically went down, I think it was 2-0, and then raged back up, able to win that match. So on the breakout here, both teams sending a body into D1, both teams losing that body, so it's 4-on-4. And a pretty identical field position for the rest of those players out there, except for a little bit better field position right now for the Knights with that body in the white zone in the center.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like they're filtering in through the Dorito as well. Looks like FAU trying to make a counter push and FAU into Dorito 1 down that side.
Yeah, and then right after that goes into D2.
Yeah.
And he's looking for that crossfield shot in D2 instead of looking head up at D1.
Both teams, you know, trying to play tight, waiting for that elimination. That just goes to show the respect that both these teams have.
Looks like the Knights lose their body from D1. That puts the Owls in a decent field position there on the D side because there's no back players. And look at this. This is the strength of the D side right now. FAU gets a shot on the D1 player for the Knights. And then as soon as that happens, their front guy gets out wide into D2 and D3. And as soon as that happened, there's nobody out there to stop him. And this poor guy in the snake is about to get just murdered. So he catches it from a couple different guys.
Yeah, he was about to receive a back massage.
So that was, that was Giroux.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nice job by Casey Giroux over there on number 15 for the Owls, blowing that point open and going to tie it up here 1-1.
Yeah, both teams coming out strong, waiting for, you know, like you said earlier, those key eliminations before they push on each other.
So let's check in with Lauren Kelly down in the pits with FAU.
Hey guys, as I'm sure you guys have already mentioned, FAU is always a top contender. UCF here are reigning champs from 2017. FAU, though, they have not managed to get a first place win yet, so they're very hungry for it. The coach told me they didn't get much practice coming into today. They only managed to get about 2 hours yesterday on this layout. As I did hear you mention, they have mostly returning players. They're running with 7 right now, but they did pick up one person. His name is DL Ferguson. He's wearing a Conti jersey, so if you see him go out there, he's the rookie on the team. Back to you.
We'll see if the rookie is going to step up.
We got one of the veterans, Luton, here walking onto the field for FAU.
We're looking in the pits right now with the Knights, the defending champs. Like what I'm seeing out of both teams. It was a nice move on the D side to save that last point by Giroux. And you see the strength of that Dorito side. With this layout, with the way the Dorito side is set up, once you get into D2 on both sides, those bunkers, D2 and 3 on both sides are out. They're the widest bunkers out there. There is no back bunker you can fill to control those guys down the sideline. So we're watching guys, if they do lose their opponent in front of them, that guy gets shot, you're able to get into D2, D3, and then past the 50-yard line, and you have really good shots from there. And that's been the big strength of the D side of the field. The snake side is a little bit more counterpunchy than the D side is. We have seen points won through the snake side, but this is, and it's very easy to make. Lots of teams getting into snake 1 off the break without getting shot, but
Knights dropping a player on the Dorito side, Maddie. Looks like we got Robson filtering up the middle for FAU. FAU content with trying to keep that snake player at bay. Looks like they're, you know, like you had mentioned, the strong side is the Dorito side, so they're going to definitely make their presence felt.
We saw some really good stuff last year from Coben Robson, so looking for big things out of him. He's in the center, in the white zone for FAU on your left-hand side. He's about to make a move up to the wedge, goes right past that into the center. He's at the 50 brick, and he's looking at snake 1. His teammates in snake 2 right now, so good field position here for the Owls, as they also have a body in D2.
Oh man, Owls dropping a player, looks like, on the Dorito side.
This is what keeps happening. Guys get in, the first attackers, they get in good positions, and then one of their back players dies.
Yeah.
This keeps happening game after game. Those 2s and those 3s really need to tighten it up on this layout. There goes another body for the Knights, and it is not starting to look good for them.
They're dropping wholesale at this moment. It looks like the guy at the snake was going to receive maybe a back massage here by Robson. Luton just taking one in the barrel there, it looks like. Both of them coming out. Looks like FAU, another FAU point. We got Ryan coming over to back Robson up, looks like. I'm going to walk this bad boy in.
Yeah, so Corbin walking the flag in. A little sloppy play out of their snake play right there to close that out. You notice how he just kind of dove in there and then just committed one-handed, laying on the ground, hoping to trade out. He did, so he did get the shot on the guy.
Right on the barrel.
Just needs to tighten it up a little bit there.
Yeah. But he did his job, man. You know what I mean? He's supposed to be there to tie up a gun, and that's what he did.
But it is interesting to see here on the snake side how things are developing. Again, it's pretty easy to get in there. We have seen some big moves to the 50 off the break, so it's possible. Did we just saw the ref just throw a penalty flag?
Uh-oh.
I think it's because one of the UCF players is looking at him, saw the minor penalty thrown.
Uh-oh. There comes Daughtry trying to figure out what's going on here.
Maybe he came on the field without his goggles on. That's possible. A little pit penalty, perhaps. Let's check in again with Lauren Kelly.
Hey guys, penalties. I will give you an update on this penalty as soon as I find out what's going on. But penalties plagued UCF during their first match against Akron this morning too. During the first half, they went up 5 points. It was 5-0 against Akron. And then in the second half, they got so many penalties that they let Akron come back 5-4. They managed to get the win 6-4 after all, but penalties have been plaguing them today. Back to you.
Yeah, Daughtry actually came over. I got a chance to sit down and talk to him during the lunch break, and the coach for the Knights, former star player for them, he asked me, he said, "Hey, Maddie, so what's the penalty forecast on this field?" I was like, well, it kind of depends on you a little bit, but as it stands so far in the morning bracket, it's like a slightly drizzly. You know,
light drizzle.
Light drizzle. Nothing too heavy.
Not a downpour.
Definitely not. I feel the refs are doing a great job out there so far. We've seen a couple majors, and there is Daughtry. Carried the torch for them for a while on the field, now doing it off the field. And that's, you see the teams that have those veterans, the guys that graduated but still want to participate and come and help give the younger players some of their wisdom. Those are the teams that we typically see playing deep into Sunday.
Yeah, definitely coming back to giving back to where they came from.
It's those teams, and then also the teams that will have ringers, pro players or high-level division players that happen to be going to the school. But we don't have any of that this year. The past couple seasons, that had been Texas A&M, but I think those guys graduated.
Nebraska at one point too. They had
Ryan Hall and Devin Stewart were both playing for a couple years ago for Texas A&M when they were just dominating everyone. They got surprised last year by the Knights and ended up losing. And then this year, I believe they're here, but they're playing 5-man, not playing X-ball. But they were the stacked team for a while. Really like this Knights squad on paper, but we'll see how they do on this layout. Obviously, like Lauren was breaking down and we talked about earlier, stumbling a little bit in their win in their first game this morning.
Yeah, definitely. The FAU also stumbled out of the break, out of the blocks with an early match against Liberty, where Liberty got up on them, but they were able to come back, fight back, and win that match.
And Liberty favored here as they are the #1 seed in this tournament. Maybe it's their year. We will see. Another team that has got deep into Sunday, but just never found a way to win. So minor penalty, as looks like we might have an update on that penalty. Lauren, what do you got for us?
Hey, Maddie. Yeah, so it sounds like one of the UCF players walked out onto the field to talk to his coach while a point was in play, which would get them that penalty. They're arguing that one of the refs on their side okayed him to come on the field, and so that's why there's confusion, because they thought they had gotten the okay to do that. But the final decision, it sounds like that penalty is going to be upheld because he shouldn't have been on the field talking to his coach while a point was in play.
Well, fair enough. Unfortunately for them, that means that they are going to have to start down a body here.
Yeah.
So looks like FAU is going to be on a little power play, starting with their standard 5. The Knights going to be starting with 4.
Looks like the Knights hopefully got their power play killers on the field here.
Yeah, it looks like Zach's out there talking to his guys, maybe a last-minute game plan here, trying to figure out what they're going to do with the 4 bodies. It does change things up a little bit.
All 4 back bunkers, sir.
Yeah, it's just tough getting out a little. Well, with the way that this field is laid out, with the fact that you have that direct drive down the center to your opponents, there is no big blocking bunker. But once you get out a little bit, as soon as you take 4 or 5 steps off of that start box, there's lots of stuff to block you out because of the big wedges in the center and the white zone and the 2 big bricks. So if you stay low, there's going to be some crafty moves in Dallas. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the pros are going to play this at the Dallas event in a couple weeks. And I've really liked how a couple of these teams have been doing it. NC State, highly aggressive in their win over UConn, really forcing UConn to play on their heels that whole game. Miami had an amazing game against Purdue. Penn State just beat the brakes off of Tennessee. And Liberty handled Drexel with ease. So it's tough to kind of call the favorite here.
No, definitely. Like you said, Liberty looking strong, you know. They got that one loss to FAU this morning, but they still looking strong like the #1 contenders that they are.
So on the breakout, and it looks like, yeah, 4 bodies. For a second, no, they started with 5, so they ended up not being on a power play. Yeah. FAU losing a body, so FAU thought they were going to be on a power play. No, they end up losing a body. Now count that too. So
Ryan walking off.
The win is in favor of UCF Knights right now, as they are in a 5-on-3 situation. Did they lose a body too?
No, I think they're still. It might be still 4 or 5 strong. No, they lost a player. They're coming out the behind Snake. Oh, it looks like FAU Snake player getting eliminated as well.
Yeah, so now 3 bodies have come off for the Owls. Just 2 players alive for them.
Looks like the Knights taking control of that red zone here with that one of those big bricks on the Snake side.
Boski again, Stephen Boski, like fills he's been making. Smart fills once the bodies drop for FAU. He's consistently getting into that 50 brick here towards the Snake side, and now getting through and into the 50-yard line as well for the Knights.
Yeah.
So they're stacking up attackers. Coach Daughtry right by his man, talking to him.
Always sticking him up the field.
You can see there the bottom portion of your screen. Zach Daughtry, former star, now coach, talking to his boy, giving him the information he needs. It's a huge asset to have your coach right there while you're in the 50 Snake. And there is an opponent, though, for FAU.
The red zone,
in
Dorito.
In the back, yeah, and that's who they're worried about. They just got that kill. So FAU was attacking on the D side to try to even things up. He gets taken out. That leaves just the body over here in the back corner bunker, and I think that's Robson, and he gets tapped out. So nothing Corbin could do in that situation.
Yeah.
And the Knights are going to put their 3rd point on the board, pulling away slightly with 2 minutes and 37 seconds-ish to play. We'll see how much exactly is left when he hangs that flag up. Knights looking good. FAU, the teams that have been struggling out here, so then you're watching the Knights lose their gunfights, right? And so depending on all these layouts, of course survivability is always going to be a thing, but how many bodies can you shoot off the break? But it's not so much the bodies off the break that's becoming an issue for these teams that are losing these games out here. It's bad gunfight deaths out of their bunkers. And that's going to happen. It's painful. Yeah. You're going to lose gunfights, but you just want to keep that frequency down as much as possible. And FAU is just losing too many bodies out of their spots.
Possibly just getting too anxious and just, not keeping a cool head and losing those gun battles. It looks like we got a replay here. Yeah.
Apparently I misspoke. The score is 2-2. So UCF able to tie that one up.
Tight game, Maddie. Tight game.
2:32 to go. Very tight game.
This is like a semifinals game right here.
Yeah, and these are 2 teams that I was really looking forward to watching play. I wanted to see, with the Liberty coming in as the 1 seed, did they have what it takes now? I mean, do they finally have a team they feel that they can take to a victory here in the college championships? Is it going to be one of the usual suspects again, in the sense of, the Knights going to come back with all the returning players that they have? So this game with FAU always being highly competitive, but never really getting to that top spot, but always being in the mix on Sundays. I was looking on the schedule going, okay, well, let's see this UCF-FAU game and who's going to prevail on this one. And, obviously close game here. I just like what I'm seeing a little bit more. I think a little, like I said, better survivability for UCF.
Yeah, definitely. Winning their gun battles, just playing smarter, smarter and aggressive up the middle, sending Boski up to the red zone brick on the Snake side.
Let's check in with Lauren.
Hey guys, so this is a tied game between these 2 rival teams. Obviously UCF beat FAU in the finals last year. And something I'm noticing in the pits is that Coach Zach Daughtry is just so composed. Even if the team is chaotic, yelling things at each other, complaining about a call that was made on the field, he stays extremely calm. He doesn't listen to complaining. He tells them to move on and just go on to the next point. So he's a great energy for them to have in there.
Well, that's the veteran experience. It always helps to have those guys around. Keep the young those young minds tranquil so that they can get out. I mean, you want to be intense. You want to bring that emotion with you on the field, but it needs to be a focused intensity.
Yeah, definitely.
And right now, FAU doing a good job of getting their first attacker on the D side into D2.
Look for Luton to make a move up the middle here. He's trying to push his player back in. Looks like the Knights are making a move into Dorito as well.
So the Knights on their secondaries get a guy into Snake One. Also, attacker on the D side of the field getting himself in position. You can see there on your screen the battle developing on the Snake side. UCF on your right here, FAU on the left, and no one in the Snake for them. And here's the D side. You can see there the UCF player in D1 wants to make his move. He's going to get into D2. Does he make it clean? It looks like he does.
Yes, he does. So we got two Knights in the Doritos, the white portion of the Dorito side.
Yeah, FAU, though, just content, at least for now, to chill in that mini wall bunker and shoot that lane from there.
I think they figured out, you know, the kills and the points are going to come off the Doritos side. It looks like both teams are filtering players through there.
Yeah, the D side is pretty dominant. Yeah, there's crossfield shots you have to worry about, but with the way those bunkers are laid out over there, I mean, we've seen some big points for some players on that side so far.
Looks like a Knight player is coming on the Doritos side of the... Oh! Does he get clipped? No, he's good. Looks like we got a FAU player walking off on the Doritos side. Knights player being eliminated on the Doritos side as well. Looks like Knights controlling the Snake. You know, like you said earlier, FAU is just content on giving them that Snake. And here come the Knights. Oh, one-handed.
Oh, he comes around a one-handed gangster gets him. And then it looks like they concede the... Did they concede the point? I think they did.
Yeah, I think it. I mean, there's other players walking off right now. I think Ryan got one-handed gatted in the back.
Not wanting to risk his body, just goes up to the last player, wraps his gun around one-handed, stitches him up. Oh, looked like the time expired.
Oh.
I was watching, kept my eyes off the clock as I was watching. Okay, how's this guy going to get this done? And then he pulled out the one-hander. So it looks like we will be locked up at 2 heading into halftime. Neither team with much of an advantage, but I like the secondary moves that we're seeing out of the Knights. They seem to be filling those spots nicely. Putting FAU on their heels a little bit. FAU, though, they are also pushing forward. You can see here on the replay. As that's the death out of the 50-yard line on the Snake side of the field. And here comes the one-hander. Comes around, pauses, sees the pack, and you can't really see it from that angle, but he got up against his opponent's bunker and then just one-handed it around the corner. So, so we are tied up at 2-2, and we're going to be right back after this.
I'm Joel with Predator Paintball Park in San Antonio, Texas. We host 7 different fields, all combined into 2 very large fields that are all playable at the same time. The Urban Combat field is by far my favorite. The Urban Combat field took 2 years to design and build. It is our most popular field due to the fact of buildings, cars, and lots of obstacles that makes you immerse into a video game atmosphere. Here at Predator Paintball Park, we offer 3 different styles of play. we offer the Splatmaster Adventure, which uses the 50 cal shotgun that you play on your normal paintball fields, but with a smaller projectile. The nice thing about the Splatmaster is that you can get up close and personal. These markers are designed for 9 and up. The next is going to definitely be our 50 cal low impact traditional paintball. This is for 10 and up. This is for the young people that are making the transition from Splatmaster over to normal paintball. The paintball marker is the same size. The only difference is the paintball that it fires. It fires the low impact 50 cal paintball. So it does give you a little sting, but nothing like that of the normal 68 caliber. And then of course our final package is the 68 caliber full on paintball. All of these paintballs are super high quality that you can only get from GI with our 50 cal and all the way up to our pro grade 4-star GI. Here at Pro Shop, we offer all types of different markers, packs, as well as jerseys and gear bags and all of your paintball needs. We do offer specials on park entrances since we do own Predator, which is our 5 pass and our 10 pass. Also, if you purchase the paintballs here at Pro Shop, you get $10 off your entry fee out of the park. Just want to say thank you guys for coming in and checking us out and for supporting your local paintball store and your local paintball park, which is Pro Shop Paintball and Predator Paintball Park.
Welcome back as we enter the second half of this UCF FAU rival match. Right now the score is tied 2-2. I was standing in the FAU pit just as we were finishing the clock for halftime. Corbin Robsey, one of their top veterans, was shaking his head and he said it would be nice if everyone would just do their job. So going into the second half, he told everyone to just stay on task, stay in your bunkers, work with your teammates, and don't play selfish paintball.
Well, immediately the Knights lose a body on the backfield on the D side, so 4 players left alive for them. Looks like a clean break for FAU.
But the Knights get a player into the snake off the break here, going to snake 2 now.
And a referee is going to run in, pull a penalty on the back center player. Not looking good for the Knights. They do have a body in the 50-yard line here on the snake side of the field, but here comes the bodies flooding forward from the Owls. And we haven't seen this yet, as both guys are in the same bunker, and that's got to be a penalty on 21. I don't know how 21 didn't just get a major penalty. He got the side of his face blasted to bits.
Lewin's just putting it on him.
Surprised the plastic didn't fall apart. Got shot so many times on the side of his face, and he was still shooting.
Lewin so let him know you're going to stand there and just you're going to get it.
Yeah, he definitely lost the standoff for sure, but didn't get the penalty. FAU looking at his guys. He run it in. So looks like Corbin and Ryan having a little bit of a discussion there. Right? Ryan was yelling at Corbin to run in the flag. Ryan comes back, grabs it, and runs it in. And then Corbin looks at me, he's like, it's a minor.
Yeah.
It's coming off anyway, man.
I ain't running nowhere. Pretty much what he told him.
So the Owls going to take a slight lead here.
We got a meeting of the minds in the middle of the field here with the refs. See what they got to tell us about this penalty. Looks like we're gonna hopefully get the gist here. Maybe we get our super spy down there to figure out what that penalty was for.
Well, I just really liked how Ryan and Corbin, even though they were arguing with each other there, I like where their heads are at, though.
Yeah.
Let's try to utilize every bit of the advantage that we can get with the penalty. And Corbin was like, hey, man, it's just a minor, so it's going to come off anyway. So you can see here on this replay as the battle in the snake. We hadn't seen this yet in the tournament. And
he shoots him into the ground.
Yeah, he shot him almost into the ground, and he just kept blazing his gun away. I'm really surprised he didn't get a penalty. And here's Ryan closing out that last kill. So just solid work from Thomas Ryan and Corbin Robson for FAU. 2 guys we saw have really good tournaments last year. So
yes,
expecting
definitely
the same from them.
Coming back, you know, trying to Looks like they're taking it to the Knights here, though, Matty.
Well, the Knights, they lost that body off the break. They get the penalty out of the back center.
They did get a guy into the snake,
I was just going to say, I like the aggression on the snake side. They got the body in there, so I like that play call. He was moving forward. He made it to the 50. But everybody dies around, and we're seeing a lot of guys die out of these back spots, and that's not surprising. With the way that this layout is and with those big back bunkers, there's lots of gunfights that's going to be going back and forth from the tower, the Aztec, all those bunkers back there, and we've just seen a lot of guys die in those gunfights, whereas their fun players seem to be getting into these important bunkers in the red zone and seem to stay alive, and then just losing the players behind them. Now, FAU on your right, UCF on your left, and FAU loses a body.
Yeah, on the Dorito side here. The Knights, looks like they're going to try and win a couple of gun battles here before they make any secondary moves here. Look for this Knights to dive into the snake here. There's that move as I was talking about here. Looks like they have Robson looking over the snake side, but this Knight there, the snake is just crawling all the way to the 50 corner of the snake here.
So good field position as the Knights send a body here into this 50 on the snake. So we keep seeing this. Guys are making it in here fine. Guys are making the snake one off the break. Guys are making it into the 50. Same within the center. And on the D side into D1 and D2, it's the decisions they make from there in their gunfights that are deciding these points.
Well, it looks like the Knights taking the Dorito side now. Just coming down the Doritos at will right now. Looks like the last owl here coming off. Looks like a UCF padding their lead here. Looks like. Is it the score right? It's 3-3, right?
Should be 3-3.
Yeah.
FAU scored that last one. It was 2-2 going into half. Then FAU scored one, should be 3-2. And then the Knights come back, should be 3-3.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Looks like a tied game at 3-3. While both teams are putting up a good fight, Coach Zach Doherty told me before the match that UCF is brushing off some dust right now. They're not playing as strong as they think they can be. This is the only match this team plays together all year. They don't play in a conference together. It's a throw-together team with a lot of different Florida local players. So they all play on different teams within Florida, but not with each other. So it takes them a little bit to get their on-field chemistry going.
Well, that's why you have more than one game in the prelims. Sometimes it takes a little time to get together, especially if you're not practicing together. But obviously these guys are high-level paintball players, and you can tell it's not like they didn't pick up a paintball gun the entire year
definitely.
and just came together for the championship. If they did so, wow, looking pretty good if that's the case. So tie game, 7:24 to go here in the second half. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of both teams. Survivability just across the board. Not every team's having a problem, but we're going to see that. It's not necessarily something you can fix because it's part of the game of paintball. You're going to be locked in gunfights. And on this layout, it seems to be that you can make it up to this, up into the front bunkers relatively easily. But it's when you get locked in those gunfights when you're there, we're watching bodies drop. We're also seeing guys get shot behind their front players, those twos, those second attackers, and the threes, the back players, losing gunfights. And the team that seems to be able to survive more, even with all the different ground being taken, has been the difference. On the breakout, going to the snake off the break and getting in there a little too high. He got in on his dive, but then as soon as he put his hips up and started his crawl, got shot in his head and in his pack. So the first kill is going to go to the Knights, and then they throw it away immediately as their player in the mini wall, I think, just got shot. Yes, he did. 4-on-4.
Looks like they were going to fill that, trying to push the snake here now. Looks like the Owls get their player into the snake. Looks like I think that's Robson in there.
Yeah, Corbin.
Yeah.
Corbin, nice fill for Corbin as he gets into snake one. The Knights also get a body into snake one, too, on the fill as soon as Corbin dove in. His opponent dove into snake one himself. So even up on the body count here on the snake side of the field, but better field position for the Owls as Corbin has a back player behind him. That's going to help things out. He can wrap around, get some of those, put pressure on those center bunkers, which is going to allow Corbin
to roll his eliminating
gun.
That temp on the Dorito side.
Yeah, beautiful shot from Snake 2, cross field to the back bunker on the D side. That's a confirmed kill there for Corbin Robson.
Well, they're just going to give him another one, looks like. Knight player filling that in and now being told that watch that side of the snake. Thompson putting a stream over there. Yep.
Another kill for Corbin. 2 confirmed for him out of snake 2. Really putting his team in a good position here. And they're call that another one. That was either, I think that was Corbin with his 3rd kill at snake 2 right now.
Looks like snake player right now.
When you draw it up on paper, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm just going to get in D2. I'm going to get 3 kills out of there. I'm sorry, snake 2, and we're just going to win the point that way. Did he just – that was either Corbin again winning a gunfight down the sideline or his back player. They were both shooting at him. And then another – well, there's an FAU player walking off from the D side, but I think that might do it, and the point is going to be conceded. So FAU with 5 minutes and 38 seconds to go in this match, going to take a slight lead here. Close game.
Oh, man, real close game here. Like you said, you know, these guys are from, like you said, they play each other year-round, different teams. They know their, you know, how each other plays, so it's going to be a tight one right now.
Yeah, and a rematch from the final game last year. FAU taking on the Knights.
The Knights won that one, and FAU looking to get a little bit of revenge on last year.
Yeah, FAU has got, they've been deep into this tournament before, but just not able to get one of these championship wins. The Knights, the defending title holders.
4-3, close one. Still plenty of paintball to go here.
What do you think the Knights need to do here? Shoot Corbin Robson?
Probably shoot Corbin Robson.
That would help.
Shoot Corbin Robson. Shoot Corbin.
Yeah, put some paint over here at Corbin Robson, as he's definitely getting it done in the snake right now for FAU is the reason that they're winning this game by 1. So going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after this. We are back, 2018 NCPA Championships. I'm Matty Marshall with Catfish. Let's check in with Lauren as this point begins.
Hey guys, as we've talked about multiple times already today, the heat is starting to get to FAU since they are running with only 7 players. Their rookie of the year this year, DL Ferguson, he's wearing a Conti jersey. He's playing really well for them, but he walked off the field saying he was beat and he needed to sit a point. So he's here on the sidelines watching this point, but he'll be getting back on the field soon. Back to you.
Yeah, you need got to dig deep out here in these championship events. I mean, it is definitely hot in that sun. It's about 86 degrees now, as it was much cooler this morning. So here in the afternoon.
Taking this point here. They could be taking this point.
Yeah, it looks like the Knights have reared back, and they now have the 50 on the snake side. Good position in the center as well, too. D1 is hot for them, and bodies have dropped for FAU.
Oh, is that a flag? Oh, no, pause.
You can see there the move being made from the Central Florida Knights to the 50 brick in the red zone. He has his gun looking towards the D side of the field. They also have the 50 that's hot here in the snake. Zach Daughtry, the coach, right beside him, helping keep that communication going back and forth. And here comes a counter move by FAU as they bunker out the 50 brick, and he is still alive, trying to blow this point open.
Who was that?
That looked like that was Lavoli. Ravioli. Nicholas, it looked like for a second he was going to steal the point, but wasn't able to do it as their snake player blasted him finally. Still another player left alive for the Knights too, even with that Lavoli move. But he gets taken out, so.
Is that Dorito side blown on both sides there? There's no one on that Dorito side for the Knights, and I don't see anyone on the Owls either.
2 players left alive for sure on the Owls. They have the mini wall on the snake side, back center temple. Those 2 bunkers are hot, so it's definitely 2 alive. And I think it might just be the snake here for the Knights. Here comes Ryan for the Owls, cutting to the center into the white zone. He's got to be careful, though, because the snake 50 players has zoned up on him.
Looks like you possibly see this guy in the FAU player that was at the little wall-sided
well, now's the time.
tactical retreat.
Now's the time for Ryan to make his move.
Yeah.
So the one player left alive for the Knights. Oh, Ryan's still not going to move up. And it looks like they're going to concede the point.
Looks like FAU here is trying to pad that lead a little bit.
So it looks like, yeah, FAU putting another one up.
What a move from Ravioli down the Dorito side.
Yeah, it's getting interesting out here. As a little seesaw battle, at least on the bodies. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Close match between two longtime rivals, Florida Atlantic University Owls and the University of Central Florida Knights. The Knights, the defending champions. But right now, down a few points, Catfish, to, FAU up a few points here against the defending champs.
No, definitely. It looks like the Owls, started out a little hiccup, but they've kind of settled down, I mean, they are playing with 7 guys, and I think that's going to be tiring for them as these matches go on,
Yeah, so let's check down again with Lauren Kelly.
Hey guys, after that last point where FAU was able to get a 2-point lead, I was in the UCF pit and they said they need to stop talking about the last point in the pits. They need to get off the field and just move on to the next game plan. Another thing we always talk a lot about on the webcast are balancing paintball life with real life. I'm hearing a lot about that today. A lot of these guys are coming just from finals. Specifically, the UCF player Cook missed the first match today because he had a final to take, and I've heard that from a couple other teams too. So we'll actually see a lot more, not a lot more, but some extra players here tomorrow that we're not seeing today.
There's a penalty on the Knights.
Yeah, and the Knights had also lost a body over here, so it is not looking good for him here in this attempted comeback. With just 2 minutes and 37 seconds left to go, they need 2 points. Doesn't look like they're going to get this one unless one of their 2 players that's left alive clocks in here and gets a couple quick kills.
Looks like they got Robson looking.
Oh, there's one. Back center bunker at the Temple dies for the Owls. Those mistakes you don't want to make.
What's going on here with the Knight player at the mini wall? It's like stretching, maybe cramping up.
Maybe cramping up, yeah. Here in the mini wall, he's got his leg down. Might be cramping up. Trying to fight through a cramp as it is getting quite hot out here. And then a move being made into the red zone by the Knights and also up on the D side. So FAU just trying to hold on to this advantage. It looks like they lose a body out of D1, but here comes a big move up in the center as Corbin Robson comes through, bunkers out. Bunkers out one, tries to get a shot on Zudell, who's here cramping up in Snake 1, so he's gutting through this.
Yeah.
But it looks like the point is going to be conceded as UCF going to go down. Now 3 points, 6-3 is the score, and with just 1 minute and 47 seconds left, they're going to be forced to try to aggressively push forward. They have no choice. They need 3 under 2 minutes to go. Catfish forced into those low percentage aggressive plays.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, cramping up is definitely not gonna help you as well. But
he was trying to stretch it out.
Yeah, he was. He definitely was. But he was making the moves,
For a second, I just thought maybe that was his style. Just trying to play the bunker a little alternatively. But hey, I'll give him some credit though. He was started to cramp up in the mini wall.
Yeah.
He still found a way to make a move into Snake 1. Unfortunately, everybody died around him. But UCF getting that penalty in that point. I think that's that desperation setting in, and they're calling a timeout to get a little extra 2 minute break here, rest their guys, because they're going to have to start sprinting down the field to try to roll off 3 quick points.
It's funny how the team with the deep roster needs to take the timeout and kind of take a step back, collect your composure, and let's get these points.
So here on this timeout, let's get some more information from Lauren.
Hey guys, right after that point where FAU took the 3-point lead, morale seemed pretty down here in the UCF pits. A lot of the players' heads were hanging low, but Zach Doherty, their coach, came off the field, called a timeout, told them to take a deep breath, get some water. This game isn't over. He took some time to put some game plans together to help them get some fast points. So he's not giving up, and hopefully they can get some points on the score. Back to you.
It's going to be a tall order. 3 points in under 2 minutes.
It could be done.
It could be done. We've seen it before.
Yeah. We have seen it before.
Yeah, we just came from an event in Europe for the first NXL Europe event, and there was a couple come from behind victories there where we had similar situations to this. So it is absolutely possible this field can play fast. But look for those early deaths. You can't score quick points unless you shoot bodies quick. And because there's so many different options for off-the-break shots, and these teams are given different looks as far as where they're sending players, I think that it's going to kind of hard to consistently isolate 2 players off the break to shoot, to score these quick points. So that means you're going to be forced to recklessly run up quickly in the center, maybe take the snake 50 off the break. We've seen that move made a couple times. It's definitely possible, but
probable?
Probable, not probable. Definitely not probable. Not with the way the Owls are playing. They're hanging tough right now, and even though UCF doesn't look bad, they just don't look as good as the Owls. Too much, same story. Different game, same story. The teams that are losing, UConn, Purdue, obviously Drexel and Tennessee because they've got beat up in their games, but just having big survivability issues in these gunfights from those backbunkers mostly, and also problems with moving out of the 50s and trying to push forward into guns, that's exactly what they're going to have to do right here.
Yeah. I mean, like you said earlier, they can definitely run up the middle, and, they're going to get in there pretty clean and unseen because of the way the middle of the field is stacking up. Definitely think the Knights are going to run maybe 2 guys up the center. That'd be a smart move.
Well, maybe because there is that direct drive shot down the center, you get out a little wide. I'm not saying go all the way out wide, but get out past the temple, then round around the temple, send a body out wide to Snakeside to draw the guns, and then start getting your bodies up the center. But then the big question is, where's the run-through in the center? We haven't seen any big run-throughs in the center of this field yet so far this tournament.
Yeah, not too many. Not too many. You think the Owls would send someone up the middle, kind of counterpunch here?
I think that might be a good idea. If they can just get one, all the Owls need is just one more point to go over 30 seconds, and this game should be over. So on the breakout here, Knights on your left, Owls on your right, and here comes the push from the Knights as they get Snake 1 off the break. That's the move I was asking for, to take the gun, and then also the push up the center. But then as soon as he gets into Snake 1, just like you said, getting taken out. And that should be a big breath of fresh air for the Owls, though they lose Robson out of the back center. So Robson losing a gunfight here.
Oh, another Knight coming off the field here.
Knights losing attackers. They're past the 58 on the D side, at the 50. And then on the run, did he trade out with them? That was a nice shot on Ryan on the run for UCF in the center.
Either way, because, I mean, they were coming down
Boski
the Dorito side as well, so Ryan was definitely in trouble.
Well, they're going to get one.
There's one.
There's one that they needed, so now they need 2 points in a minute. They got one in about 25 seconds, 23 seconds.
Yeah. 2 more to go.
Looks like the point is good. See the thumbs up from the referee. Most importantly, for the Central Florida Knights, they need to play clean in this next minute.
Yeah.
Penalties, that's it. Comeback stops if they get a penalty.
Done deal.
With the time here sitting on the clock. But I like that play call. They send a body to the Snake to draw guns. He immediately gets shot, though. But then they started flooding the body. They flooded the body at the center. They sent him to the wedge at the start, and then immediately also attacking on that D side. They did lose 3 bodies, but had the 2 left alive. Doesn't need to look pretty. It just needs to. You just need one body left alive.
It needs to work. That's all they needed to do.
Though Corbin Robson playing great up until that point. Him with that big gun dying out of the back center wasn't helping the cause here for FAU to try to preserve the lead.
Maybe look for FAU to come out conservative here and try to take all bunkers in the back. Maybe the little white temple. Conservative, but yeah, a little aggressive, but
heavy guns.
Yeah, heavy guns, that's for sure.
Even if they take ground and you get to your spot, never stop shooting your gun. You know they have to run through the lane eventually.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then they're going to come quick, too, because they need to get that point under a minute. well under a minute. Let's preserve some time on the clock.
Yeah, just that minute left on the clock and a 2-point spread. So we'll see. Do they do the same play? Wondering if they're going to run a body to the snake off the break again here. I'm talking about the Knights. For the Owls, I do think Catfish, like you said, maybe fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
Send that one body up in the center.
Cause a ruckus.
They decide not to do that. They go heavy guns up, 3 guns up, but that ends up working for them. But I don't know why UCF goes triple guns up in the back too, and then they lose 2 bodies. Don't like that play call.
And he comes up the middle here. And making it all the way to that red brick.
Yes.
Oh, and he's eliminated.
That's Stephen Bonsky, or Boski. Boski's been getting up there constantly, but recklessly gunfighting from that spot. And hey, I don't blame him for it. You need points. You got to go forward.
Snake
and there goes another one. So as we reach with those last 2 deaths, I think that it should do it here. And the Owls should be able to take this victory against the reigning champs.
Looks like
Still want that point though.
Yeah.
Get the flag and then launching with the last body coming off. And I don't think he's going to have the time. Oh, he gets it just in time.
That added a little insult to injury, huh?
So it looks like the hang is good. So the FAU Owls, Florida Atlantic University, going to take this victory against the champs, UCF, and a big rival for them, as that was a replay and a rematch of the final game from 2017. FAU looked pretty good.
Yeah,
at this point, I'm trying to think in my head, okay, who looks the best? Penn State completely demolished Tennessee. That game wasn't even close. It was an 8-0 mercy rule. NC State, Miami, Liberty, FAU all looked pretty good. But UCF didn't look bad even in the loss. We'll see. You still have Liberty to play a game against Akron coming up next. But before we get to that one, let's check in with Lauren. Looks like she has the man, Corbin Robson.
Hey, Maddie. Yeah, I am here with the veteran of FAU, Corbin Robson. Congratulations on that win. Now, you guys are rivals with UCF. You're friends, you're rivals, you play each other all the time.
Right.
So you lost last year in the finals to them. So coming into this match, how were you guys feeling?
This is definitely the match we wanted to win today. Obviously, our in-state rivals, friends, like you said, the team to beat at winning last year. We wanted to set the tone today going into this weekend, big time.
Going into halftime, I reported before that you were kind of disappointed with what was going on, even though you were tied 2-2. But what were some things you felt you needed to tighten up as a team?
You know, we have the right game plans to make them adjust to us and do things that they're not comfortable doing. If we just stick to what our jobs are, then they have to play a way that they don't want to, and that's what we weren't doing. So that's what we fixed going into halftime.
Do you think that your guys' play is more defensive or offensive on this particular layout?
It depends on the break, honestly. We adjust based on how the break goes, and that really changes everything. So it's different every point for sure.
You were getting some work done over here on the snake side. Break down this snake for us. How much of a weapon can you be for your team when you're in that snake?
It's tough to get to. You just got to play relaxed once you get there. Know your shots from practice. Know who you need to shoot at first. Don't pull up and look for shots. You got to know right when you come up because a lot of people can see you.
All right, well, thank you so much. Congrats to FAU beating UFC in a rival match. Back to you guys.
So we're going to be back. More action coming at you from the 2018 National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships. I'm Matty Marshall with Catfish, and we'll be back with this Liberty and Akron match. Stick with us.
I'm burned. After your practice, I'm physically burned, not mentally. It goes away in about an hour. You're good. Would you say that? Yo. Where's the yo? Where's the yo?
2018 National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships going down here in Orlando, Florida. Matty Marshall with Mike Zapanis, a.k.a. Mike Zapp, the coach of Drexel, former player, hosted the Paintball podcast for the NXL. And so, you know, these are two teams you're familiar with here. Mike playing against them, now coaching against them. Liberty taking on Akron. Give me your thoughts.
Liberty beat the brakes of us earlier this morning.
I was going to say, you're a little familiar with Liberty right now.
They consistently just a top 4 team over here in the NCPA. Very good coaching, a lot of support from their school, and you know they have a huge program. So it's good to develop talent when you have 30 guys to practice against all the time.
And you get that just ball or bust to drive you down here.
Yeah, right off the get, Akron Zips lose their center guy. He gets shot pretty early. And Liberty is sitting there, and it's pretty in the snake, going to snake 2.
Yeah, Liberty on your left, Akron on your right, and Akron the first to attack a snake, but Liberty gets a body in there too. What I saw from Liberty in their game against your team was just control over every element of the game. They were aggressive, they were winning more gunfights, they were pushing the D side like you're supposed to. That's the aggressive side of the field. A little more counterpunchy over here on the snake side, but you can't forget about it. They just looked relatively flawless. Other than that one point, you beat them up pretty bad in that one point.
Yeah, and that's when we countered them with good control paintball back at them. That's kind of when they started to put in their second line. Looks like Akron conceded that point with four remaining bodies left for Liberty. Yeah, they've just always been able to cultivate some good talent. You know, they come from a good part of the paintball realm, Mid-Atlantic. And, you know, they're a big private school. They get a lot of funding. And they have a paintball field on campus.
Yeah, I'm looking at their roster. I've heard so many good things about their field that they play at. Everyone always super jealous about the amazing facility they have. But, I mean, looking at this roster, it looks like they brought 30 guys. They didn't really bring 30 guys, but look how deep this roster is. It's ridiculous.
It keeps going on.
And these are some names we've seen before. So it's, you know, Corbin Ryan, Campbell, Dickerson.
Joshua Montanari.
Yeah, they looked really good out there in that first match. They did lose their first game to FAU 4-6, and I think that lit a fire under them because hearing what happened in that match and then watching them play your guys, they just look like a different team.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a high point margin here for for Liberty. But don't discredit the Zips, because they always have some kind of magic. We played them last year, and
they always seem to play the spoiler every now and then. Yeah, I've seen them beat a team they're not supposed to beat. So we'll see. Tall order for them out here. If Liberty continues to play like we saw in that first game against you guys, definitely a favorite here. But like you said, a team that is consistently doing well at the paintball championships here, but just can't seem to get over that hurdle on Sunday.
Yeah, they've never won it.
Nope.
Yeah, gotten close, but it always seems to be them Florida teams that, for the last couple of years at least,
have been their nemesis.
Used to be Cal State Long Beach until they quit. That was a good program for a while.
Yeah, they had a couple ringers on that team that were just dominant. Remember Treegarth had broke his hand?
Yeah.
And continued to play like 105 points in 3 days, and
that was
maybe 30 of them were broken hand.
Yeah. Liberty goes to snake off the break again. They lose their front Dorito player, though. And Akron just lost their center guy again, so hopefully they kind of figure out. But Akron's all the way up in the 40 Dorito.
Yeah, real quick, into the red zone, into D3.
Liberty pulls a tactical retreat to support his front player in the snake, going to snake corner. Still a 4-on-4 ball game here. Looks like, I would say that Akron has the field advantage at this point.
With that body in D3 for sure. The issue is, what are they going to do with it? This is what I keep seeing, Mike. I see a lot of guys get to good spots in the 50-yard lines and then die trying to make a move from there, or they lose their back guys and then they end up getting run down.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting to see in 2 weeks
how it plays at Dallas. Yeah, I've been thinking about that all day long.
I was talking to someone earlier. I really do feel that the final game, whoever's playing the finals, is going to be a 3-2 game, a 2-1 game, something like that. I think it's going to be really tactical.
Look at this. I think a major penalty just assessed on Liberty.
Yeah, the player in the snake corner got shot on his pod while he was reloading, and the ref called him out and called a minor.
Dreaded get hit on your reload and drop it penalty. Not my favorite penalty, but here's a counter attack on the D side for Liberty, trying to slow this point, and it looks like a major penalty is going to be assessed on Akron. So just as they get a gift, they squander it, throw it right back.
And that Akron player needs to sprint into the box and start draining the time, because if you remember, majors in this league don't get wiped when a point gets scored.
They carry over.
Yep.
Minors do. Minors get wiped if you lose the point. But so this is going to work. This could work in Liberty's in their favor, because they, with that penalty assessed on Akron, now have the ability to burn the rest of their time off their major. 1 minute and 13 seconds left on that one.
It's a one-on-one right now, snake one versus the snake corner. Akron has one player with a major in the penalty box, and Liberty only has one player there as well. So that guy was not.
1 minute and 2 seconds left now on Liberty's, and 1 minute and 25 on Akron's.
Liberty just got their penalty released, going out to the Dorito side, so it's now a 2-on-1. And now they need to push this issue so they can keep a major on the board for the breakout. So it's a 5-on-4 breakout.
On our clock, it looked like they had more time on that penalty, but we must have been wrong. But now with the 2-on-1 situation, Akron also not wanting to concede this point, wanting to make sure they can burn as much time off the penalty as possible.
Of course. Good on their coach for recognizing that.
Yeah, that would have been a huge mistake if you, it's 2-on-1, just blow the horn.
Yeah.
So Liberty's now pushing up now past the 50 on the red side of the field onto the white side for Akron, trying to cut the corner here. And
Liberty needs to score this point right now and quick.
And he knows that it comes down,
dunk.
switches hands, dunks on him.
Now Liberty needs to go get that flag and sprint it.
Yeah, I don't know why he's lollygagging here. So he's just going to turn around and post up on the box.
This would be really, really bad for Liberty if he gets into a one-on-one gun battle from the box guy.
Well, yeah, he definitely didn't know that. He didn't look up at the time. He just heard his pit say, hey, watch the box. So instead of grabbing the flag and head checking the box, he just stops, guns up on the box, and then realized, like, oh, wait, I still have some time to work with here.
Well, he was clearly in that moment there, he was a product of that robotic coaching thing that we talk about. His coach said, watch the box, and immediately, instead of grabbing the flag.
So let's check out this replay. And you can see there the closeout, or that was a run through on the D side, and then here's the closeout as just that one player left alive
for Akron.
So 2-0 is the score for Liberty. It's a pretty long point.
Yeah, again, I really do think that it's going to be long, drawn-out points at this on this layout come Sunday.
It definitely could be. Let's check in with our sideline reporter, Lauren Kelly, with the update with Akron.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm in Akron's pit right now. Now, Akron usually has a harder time here at the championships. The highest they've placed is 5th in 2013, and they haven't placed even close to that high in the past couple of years. They had an okay season in their conference. They won first at one of the tournaments, but in their first match against FAU, which they lost, they actually had an injury. Their Snakeside player, Tristan Ross, tripped, and he ended up splitting his chin open and had to go to the hospital and get stitches. So he was running on their first line, and they had to replace him going into this next match. Back to you.
Yeah, hopefully that player on Akron gets better soon.
Some stitches on his chin. He'll be fine.
Just wipe it off. Throw some ice on there.
Rub a little dirt in it.
Rub some, as Chris Rock would say, rub some tussin on it.
Just put a little tussin.
Yeah.
Tussin cures everything.
Don't drink it. Not out here in the heat. I haven't been out in a paintball event in this kind of heat all season so far. So it was cold and rainy in France.
It was freezing in France.
Vegas, the morning.
Vegas was really cold in the mornings and then pleasant in the afternoons.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, we're in Florida, so it's going to be 86 degrees with some humidity, which is pretty much what it is right now.
That Akron player there is having a really tough time with his survivability. It's a 5-on-3 currently with Akron about to get out of the penalty box. He does get out dead.
Well, with the swiftness, Liberty able to
get to the
stalk
50-yard line.
Yeah, into the 50-yard line. Snakeside shoots that crossfield.
And he
free
gets
kill
the
for him.
Yep.
The back player on the D side had no idea that Liberty's in the 50. I still don't think that. I think other than Snake 1, I don't think anybody knows this player is in this 50-yard line spot.
Yeah, it's a 5-on-2 situation. If I was Akron, I would blow the horn.
It's Campbell for Liberty.
They do.
So they quickly concede another one here, and now
3-0 ball game.
Yeah, well, like you said, here we have 5 minutes and 31 seconds to go in this first half. There is a mercy rule in college paintball now.
So we used to do it during the regular season because of light issues. You know, because your first event's in like September, your second event's like November. So they used to do a mercy rule during the regular season, and this is the first time at nationals where there's been a mercy rule implemented. So
I like it. I think it works great. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after this. It's been pretty much all Liberty thus far in this match with Akron. Though there was one close point, but still Liberty one of the favorites here, the #1 seed. And other than their loss to FAU early this morning, they've had a pretty good day. Beat up on Drexel, and now a pretty dominant performance thus far against Akron. Though, like I said, they did have that one pretty crazy point where it was close.
Liberty shoots 2 guys out off the break, shoots out Akron's front Dorito player and front Snake player. And Akron has a Snake corner, loses another player quickly going up the middle.
It's going to be another quick concession, it looks like, as they have. Looks like Liberty
has 5 alive.
5 alive and body in D2. He's going to go up to D3. They're not looking at many guns right now, so they're starting to streak down the field, getting into Snake 1. Also up in that 50 in the center, or trying to get to it, and there is the quick concession.
Yep.
So,
yeah, the problem with you got to have a little bit of survivability off the break, because it gets frustrating quick when you're conceding every 30 seconds.
It's sitting by the buzzer.
Or maybe if you're conceding off the break, if you remember.
Yeah, yes, I do remember, but let's check in with Lauren.
Hey guys, obviously Liberty is feeling good here in the pits with their 4-point lead. If they win this game, they will go 2 for 3 wins in the prelims. As we saw on the webcast, they beat Drexel earlier today. They did lose to FAU 4-6, I believe. But if they win this, they will be winning 2, losing 1 in the prelims. Back to you.
Well, I really like what we're seeing here with Liberty and their off-the-break shots. They pretty much are always playing up a body or two. That last one, it was 2. And you can see who they're shooting out. And we've been seeing a lot of guys drop. You were having this problem, losing bodies on that D side of the field, occasionally losing bodies early on the snake side of the field as well, too. And then you would occasionally get guys in good field position, but then they'd lose their back players. And that's been a story often told out here so far in the first day of competition.
Yeah, 100%. Liberty just seems to be pushing the issue there on – they're playing this field like it should be played, right? Play cautious, conservative a little bit on the snake. Maybe get a guy in snake 1, but just let him sit there and camp and make the attack go up the Dorito side. And they've had good survivability over there, and they've been able to get into this good real estate position to be a thorn on your side in the Doritos. So, again, they're coached well. They have the support staff, and I don't see this this game being much of Akron's, unfortunately, for them.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a long game for Akron unless they can find a way to live through the break.
They need to live off the break. The last, 2 points now, they've been getting at least 2 guys. They're consistently losing their center guy off the break. So maybe try to double up back center.
And then get out or go up the center.
There's
the thing about Liberty right now is there's no fear at all of any aggression for Akron. And Akron loses another body off the break, this time out of that back center. So they actually did start with 2 bodies back there. But, I mean, that guy, he caught one pretty much as soon as he turned his gun around. He didn't have a chance.
Yeah, Liberty's keeping their 2 back center guys in. He gets into the 30 Dorito right now, their front player. But those 2 back center guys for Liberty have been really good with their shots off the break. And commentator curse, we lose the Liberty back center player. The other guy delays up the center. I can't see what number he is.
Well, it's 4-on-4 now, so and Akron's in the snake. But here comes the push on the D side with D2 and then up into the wedge. Looking like he wants to make a move to get into the center.
Liberty moves to the...
There on your screen.
The 40-yard line Dorito, the 50-yard line Dorito, however you want to call it. And again, Liberty has 2 guys almost at the 50-yard line on the Dorito side.
Well, and getting that guy into the red zone on the D side allows them to push the snake side. Those guns turn. No one's looking snake side. Both snake 1 and snake back bunker were looking at the 50-yard line on the D side over there. And that allows the player for Liberty to just sneak right in to snake 1.
Yeah, and now the whole Dorito side just dropped for Akron about 20 seconds ago. Their front Dorito player gets shot. So they only have 3 bodies alive. They're all kind of on snake side. Their back center. Everyone's looking snake sides. No one's looking. Everyone's looking Dorito side. No one's looking snake.
Well, a little sloppy play from one of the players filling in here from Liberty, and they also they went to sleep on this last player in the snake, and he stitches up one of them. Somehow stays alive. And all of a sudden, it's a 2-on-1. This is why you got to get the count right. Just because you're up a bunch of points doesn't mean the team's just going to roll over. So still 1 player left alive for Akron right now, and he's about to get stitched up in his back. Tries to trade out. You got to be careful not to get a penalty when you do that. But I think the refs are being a little kind to him now, realizing this is going to be the 5th point that Liberty's putting up on the board, and we're not even to halftime yet.
Yeah, Liberty's walking it in right now, taking their time, letting their players rest. It looked like the majority of those players on Liberty there were their second line. So they're trying to get their first line some rest. Again, it's hot out here.
Well, they got a bunch of guys. Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're lacking for fresh legs out here.
For sure.
But that's an asset, because if you are putting up tons of points on your opponents, you can sit your starters, get some fresh legs in there, and rest them up. Because, like we said, it's 86 degrees out here, and
with this
pretty humid.
With this format, for sure, you need to have at least 7 solid players. Going to the replay here.
You can see here that last kill as runs down and executes the last player. Really not much he could do in that situation. We'll get another look at it here. You got to be careful. You see how he almost very well could have. If that happened in Dallas, that would have been a penalty.
Yeah.
Saw another one earlier today. But overall, I feel like the refs are doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, Tim Stapleton's.
We can see here the previous games, as it looks like the number 9 seed Penn State. So this is the game that happened that morning, completely decimated Tennessee. NC State and UConn was a game. That was probably one of my favorite games of the day.
NC State's strong, man.
They are. They looked really good. And then we saw Miami, as Miami was able to defeat Purdue 5-3, and then Liberty dominated Drexel. And then look at the scoreboards from Field 2. So it looks like Miami was able to edge out Clemson, Miami, Ohio, and then FAU and Liberty That was that game early on today.
UCF beats Akron 6-4.
6-4. Temple, big win over Tennessee.
Yeah, I hate to do this, but I'm calling Temple as my favorite.
Temple's your dark horse or like your favorite?
My favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, I mean, depending on how the bracket works out, right? I think it's going to be Temple and either UCF or FAU. This might be Liberty's year, though. Can't count them out.
I was just going to say.
Oh, and I just called 4 teams for the final 2 games. The final 2 teams.
It's all right, man. So here we go.
What I was about to say about the reffing, they have Dylan out here as a head ref on this field. They have the head ref from the pro field in NXL Europe on the second field. Tim Stapleton's out here, who's an NXL ref on the pro field. Or he's actually a floating ref for divisionals as well. So there's a lot of reffing experience out here. And the one thing I like right now, is one thing I liked in Europe too, is they really are letting the guys play paintball.
Yes, I totally agree. And I thought that most of the players said the same thing.
Yeah.
Of course, you're not going to get... I mean, it's the 7th sign of the apocalypse if every single player agrees with the refereeing. I've never, ever seen that happen. That's when Gabriel's trumpet's going to sound and the demons are going to come through the portal.
And when it's finally really, really good weather, all 3 days of the paintball tournament.
That's the 6th sign of the apocalypse. So here now, looks like Liberty getting in the snake. But I like the fight out of Akron. They were able to get a body up into that center 50.
Finally, yep. And he's shutting down the snake side here. Kind of needs to stand up a little bit to maybe get a shot, but I don't think he could see it.
Well, when teams are forced or decide to just do it anyway as the tactics that they're rolling with, teams have not had a hard time getting bodies up to the 50s. They really haven't.
No.
So Liberty not really in a hurry to go anywhere. Oh, nice shot from the snake one.
Shoots out the right brick, the snake side brick at the 50-yard line for Akron. And once again, Liberty is in good real estate, good position. Yeah, they're still in the white zone, but they're 1 bunker away from being at the 50-yard line on Dorito side. And the Liberty snake player is going to work. He's probably trying to get that shot on the back of the Dorito corner player on Akron.
So, yeah, Akron, the player at the 50 brick, just some miscommunication. I don't think he had any idea that player was in Snake 1 for Liberty. Liberty with a back player behind their Snake front player. And looks like the move being made here into the white zone now, up to the wedge.
For Liberty getting up to into the middle of the field here. Now they're at the 50 brick, taking Akron's spot.
I feel like he doesn't know the count either, because the way he's playing that and then he gets shot. Yeah, that was... Definitely don't feel like he knew the count as he looked to check off on the D side that there was a body in their Dorito. And there is a body there, but from his own team. And that guy now moves past the 50-yard line. So here comes the attack on the D side. But, you know, Mike, we've been watching how dominant that D side is all morning long and all day long because of the way those bunkers are offset. And here comes the highway move
for Liberty. Finishing out the last player for Akron, and Akron concedes.
Liberty's pit's pumped up.
Yeah.
They're putting on a clinic right now.
Yeah. You know, other than maybe the FAU game, once again, they haven't seen a super talented, depthful team.
Well, and they lost that game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel as far as favorites are concerned, obviously I haven't seen Temple yet. We're going to see Temple and Clemson. We haven't seen Clemson yet. You're calling Temple. And as far as the other favorites, Liberty, FAU, Miami, NC State, and Penn State, it's tough to tell.
If Temple can play a controlled mid-game, because they have a lot of weapons, a lot of attackful weapons. Attackful, is that even a word? They have a lot of aggressive guys that can really push the issue on either side of the field. The one thing that's going to be the decision maker for them, I think, is going to be the mid-game. Being able to play that, lose a guy off the break on one side and then be able to play cautious, get another G, get a second G, and be up bodies again. That may be the
deal with
factor.
The changing variables out there, which always dictates who
but
wins
they have
or
a lot
loses.
of they have a lot of experience.
So let's check in again with Lauren Kelly.
Hey guys, so Akron is not getting down on themselves leading into the second half, even though they're 5 points down. They said this is exactly what happened against UCF, and they managed to come back and get 4 points in the second half. They didn't squeak out that win. They lost 4-6 against UCF, but they're hoping that they can have that same comeback in the second half and take the win. Back to you.
Well, it would be historic, Lauren, if that happened, because at least as it looks right now, I mean, they haven't put a point up on the board yet. They did contend in 1 point where it was really close. They do have a whole second half of action to work with, but the situation is that not only is that a tall order, but they're only 1 point away from the mercy rule. 1 point in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
They, now that works with the new mercy rules. It's the 7 at 7. So once one team is up over the other team by 7, and there's 7 minutes left in the second half or under, then under 7 minutes, then essentially that's it, game over.
Yeah, and it looks like Akron's probably calling a timeout right now.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah. Cool down the jets of Liberty and
so
just try to stay in this game.
You were in a similar situation here when you were playing Liberty, so you can definitely know what's going through the heads of Akron right now. So what were you saying at this particular time in your guys' game?
What I was telling my guys was we're winning the breakouts. We were winning the majority of the breakouts. The problem is mid-game we're making poor decisions and playing jittery. Forget the cameras. Forget Maddie Marshall. Sorry. Forget this whole production and just go out there and play paintball. Be friends with each other. Be confident in each other. And let's play smart and win a game. Win a point. Well, and that's what they did.
And they did. And they came out that the one beautiful point you guys had, and it was a beautiful point. Flawless. You'd made no mistakes. Everyone made moves. It looked like I kind of was hoping that what we were going to see, which we've seen out through the years. I mean, Drexel's been competitive. They've been a team to watch. And I just, like you said, when we talked after that game, and I said, hey, what did we see out there? That 1 point was pretty awesome. Why weren't they executing like that? I'm sure you were trying to tell them to execute like that the whole game. And you said, I think that it was just a little jittery.
There was a couple, I heard some excuses from some of my guys about hearing wrong information from the sidelines.
Some communication issues.
Yeah, but that was from the sideline guys. I was like, trust in the guy next to you.
Yeah.
Who's going to know better information than the guy playing paintball right next to you?
Well, and also, God forbid that they get deep into Sunday because you're going to get countercoached.
Yeah, of course.
So that's going to happen.
That's one of the most favorite things to do here. To get knocked out.
That gets a little crazy on Sundays here because guys are enjoying themselves out here shirtless, playing in the kiddie pools and screaming from the sidelines, bloody murder.
I was just playing Can Jam over there earlier. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the college events are great. I love it. We've had some great events so far. The NXL doing a really good job. Went over to, we were both over in France, and other than it being very cold and a little muddy, it was a great event. The finals was spectacular. Vegas was great, and love coming to the college.
Did you go to the cathedral?
Oh yeah, the cathedral
cool.
was. People throw that word epic out a lot. That was like the definition of epic. An 800-year-old cathedral. Just thinking what it took to build that thing that long ago.
That dedication.
It's been a good season so far.
Oh,
Let's knock on some wood. Hopefully keep it rolling here as Dallas is rapidly approaching. And we have the rest of this tournament. I just love coming to this event. Always such a good vibe. Highly competitive on the field, but off the field it's like everyone's talking to each other, and it's just a good camaraderie.
Yeah, we're always coming out here with Temple and Penn State. We're sharing a 10x10 pop-up with them right now.
Oh, really?
With 3 teams. Playing Can Jam, hanging out, seeing everyone's friends and seeing everyone's families, and it's beautiful Florida weather. It's always a good time here at the college events. That's why I keep coming.
Me too.
And same with you.
I love it, man. Everyone's just such a good vibe out here. And you see so many of the same faces, and just a really, really fun tournament. So here we go. See, can they dig themselves out of this hole here in the second half, and also need to be wary about that mercy roll. These teams have now switched sides, so Akron is now on your left and Liberty is on your right.
Akron losing their front player. He almost made it. He slid a little bit too early to get into that second Dorito there, and now Liberty, with the counterpunch, gets into Akron's 40-yard line Dorito, and Akron gets a penalty.
Well, and two bodies here coming off on that penalty on the snake side, so they have no attacker on the D side.
I would honestly, if I was Akron's coach, I would concede this point right now. I don't know. Well, it's 5-0, but
it's the minor, so you can immediately get it back. It is 5-0. That gives them the 6th point. That means they're 1 point away from that magical number 7 for the mercy rule. But you're in a really bad spot, man. All you're basically going to do is get this guy's back tenderized a little bit and do a little bit more cleanup.
And Liberty's player misses the shot and finally trades with that last Akron player. So draining some time off the clock. That was a 58-second point.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been the same story over and over again here. Liberty looking pretty flawless.
Even if Liberty scores this next point, we
still have more time to
correct.
Yeah, because you have to get under that 7-minute mark.
Yeah.
So at least 2 minutes and 2 seconds until that magical number there.
Yeah.
But Liberty now with the big win over Drexel, the big win here. Well, not yet, but it's looking that way. All signs indicate towards a big win for Liberty.
And here we are going to commercial break. In 2 minutes, we'll be back with some more paintball action.
Welcome back. 2018 National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships. I'm Matty Marshall with Mike Sapanis, the coach of Drexel, former player for them. And you can see the mercy rule, the 7-at-7, there on your screen, which we are getting very close to. Is if you're just joining us, it's been all the Liberty Flames. It's completely dominating Akron. The Zips really struggling Zap through all this.
Yeah, Akron's having survivability issues off the break. They lose their loader off the break trying to go to the snake corner. And sorry to commentator curse there.
Liberty,
Akron.
well, also Liberty losing their first attacker over here, as it looks like they're getting some other guys some reps, but a body coming off on the D side here for the Zips. Referees are running in, checking out a couple Zips players as well as they make a move in the center.
And they trade out, so it should be a 3-on-2 ball game here. I can't exactly see where that last. Oh, there he is. He's at the 40-yard line, Dorito. So
he's in a good spot.
Yep.
He's in the red zone. And looking at two bodies for Akron in the back corner bunker, snake side and D side. They're both looking D side right now. Anytime you get in a situation, trying to read those which way those guns are shift so you can make your move. Kind of tough when you're also in a back bunker though. As Liberty has a player, only player on the snake side is in the back bunker. They have great position on the D side. He's got to be careful though, as that's where both guns are on the player on that D side. We talked about how powerful that D side is with the way that.
Yeah, we hear some cheers coming
from Liberty.
Yeah.
Not sure what they're cheering about. They haven't shot anybody yet.
Well, here comes the Liberty player bunkering out. The last player on D side left alive for Akron. And Akron still having the snake corner. He's playing a 3-on-1. He gets peeled off out of that snake corner from the last 3 Liberty players.
So now we're at the 7-point margin.
Yeah.
But we're not at the 7 minutes left yet.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Akron, I would blow the horn right now. Concede it so you have at least another point to play.
There it is. So I think they read your mind and realized, well, let's go play one more because
they could win.
They could
win this next point.
If they win this next point, it'll be a 6-point spread, and
Yep.
that means no mercy rule. So we'll see. It's going to be tough though because they have yet to be able to put a point on the board. As Liberty's been doing nothing but dominating out there pretty much this entire time. A few deaths here or there. Let's check in again with Lauren Kelly, and it looks like she is down with the team doing incredibly well here today so far, at least on the main field, Liberty Flames.
Yeah, Liberty is already celebrating here in the pits after they won that point to get them to 7 points. Knowing the mercy rule, some of the players here in the pits were yelling story time, but the coach came over and said, no story time. Let's play another point. You guys need to practice to move on into this weekend. So we'll see if they can get another quick point here and finish it up with the mercy rule against Akron.
It is looking that way. But like I said, Liberty not looking flawless. They've had a few deaths here or there, but for the most part, they have the aggression, check. Shooting guys off the break, big time check there. They've been dominating off the break for the most part.
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to watch their game against FAU, but these last 2 games, against Drexel and now against Akron, we've only seen Liberty's starting line for probably about 3 points. The last 4.5 points, 3.5 points have been Liberty's second line, third line guys, third stringers. So,
which is probably what we're going to see in this next point.
Yeah.
This is how you get experience. I mean, it's tough. You're not
Well,
going to.
actually, that's Liberty's first line.
Is it
right
their
there.
first line? Oh, so they're putting out the let's hammer the coffin nail in squad right now?
Yeah, they do have their second line Dorito player out there. I can't tell what number he is, but that is the snake side front line for Liberty and their back center player for their first line. So we'll be able to get an idea of maybe they're trying to put the nail in the coffin, just finish it up.
That's what it looks like. 7:26 to go. Again, they're trying to get to that 7-minute mark, and here goes a huge break. Both teams send a body to the 50 snake off the break.
And
Liberty makes it clean, and Akron unfortunately does not. They are able to get 2 bodies out wide, though.
And that 50-yard line player, that is number 2, Joshua Montanari, getting the kill on the Dorito corner player for Akron.
And again, the off-the-break shots, even with the, no one, they hadn't sent a body there off the break, and then just a feeding frenzy here at the end.
Yeah, this is the last point and the end of the game, unfortunately. Yep, as we said, Liberty put the nail in the coffin here on Akron and finishing today with a very high point margin.
Huge.
Huge.
Because they beat you guys by
7-1.
7-1,
Yep.
and then now we have an 8-0 score, so it doesn't get much better than that. They did lose in their first match to FAU, so they were up 2-0 in that game, and then FAU came back and ended up winning it 6-4. But
Yeah, so they have a 12 divided by 3 average point margin, which is a plus 4 point margin. Can't get better than that.
yeah, it's looking pretty good for them.
That's going to be a high seed for tomorrow. They'll probably get the bye because they're taking 12 teams for tomorrow. So the top 4 teams will get a bye. The bottom 8 will play in the, Ocho finals round. Yeah, top 8 or bottom, whatever. That's the Ocho finals, right? What you would call that. Quarterfinals will be top 4 versus the 4 winners tomorrow morning. And then we'll play the top 4 on Sunday morning.
Looking forward to seeing it. We still do have one more game here today in this prelim competition, and it's going to be Temple, who's one of your picks out here.
Yeah.
So who's good on Temple right now? Who should we be watching on Temple?
Chris Cutler is very good. Dom, he plays on Newbies, D2. Chris plays on Gucci Gang, D2. Jacob Boucherie's been playing very well.
Oh, yeah, Boucherie's been around for a long time.
Camel is his nickname.
Yeah.
Jake Dugan, who, congratulations to him, he just got his doctorate.
Oh.
Or he's starting his residency.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have 2 doctors on Temple.
It's impressive.
And they're playing paintball out here.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, so big congratulations to Liberty, and let's check in with Lauren Kelly. She is now with the coach for the Liberty Flames, Aaron Thompson.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Yep. Aaron, congratulations on that huge win, 8-0 against Akron. That was quite the blowout with just under 7 minutes left on the clock. Now, I talked to you earlier today, and you told me you have very high expectations for your Liberty players. So how do you feel about their performance here on day 1 at the World Championship?
We feel pretty good. Just like you said, we do have high expectations for our guys. We push our guys really hard in practice, and it's kind of tough where we are. We don't have a ton of other teams to play against, aside from just playing against ourselves and then playing against the other teams in our conference, when we do have events. So it's kind of hard for us to gauge ourselves throughout the season. We end up doing pretty well throughout the season, and then most years we come out to nationals and we struggle against some really good teams. There's some really good Florida teams and teams from all over. But all in all, we do feel good about how we played today. There are some things that we need to clean up. Had a really tough grinder against FAU today, and they ended up besting us towards the end of it, and we need to make sure we really lock down those longer matches and just make sure we keep the foot on the pedal.
All right, well, Liberty has a great paintball camp there, so congratulations on that win. Maybe this will be your year to get a first-place win here at NCPA Championship.
We're doing it for Bobby Dukes.
Good luck. Back to you guys.
So we'll be right back with the final set of the day. Temple taking on Clemson. 2018 NCPA Championships. Thanks so much, Mike Zapp.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
We'll see you shortly. Stick with us.
See ya. Peace.
I'm Joel with Predator Paintball Park in San Antonio, Texas. We We host 7 different fields, all combined into 2 very large fields that are all playable at the same time. The Urban Combat field is by far my favorite. The Urban Combat field took 2 years to design and build. It is our most popular field due to the fact of buildings, cars, and lots of obstacles that makes you immerse into a video game atmosphere. Here at Predator Paintball Park, we offer 3 different styles of play. We offer the Splatmaster Adventure, which uses the 50 cal shotgun that you play on your normal paintball fields, but with a smaller projectile. The nice thing about the Splatmaster is that you can get up close and personal. These markers are designed for 9 and up. The next is going to definitely be our 50 cal low impact traditional paintball. This is for 10 and up. This is for the young people that are making the transition from Splatmaster over to normal paintball. The paintball marker is the same size. The only difference is the paintball that it fires. It fires the low impact 50 cal paintball. So it does give you a little sting, but nothing like that of the normal 68 caliber. And then of course our final package is the 68 caliber full on paintball. All of these paintballs are super high quality that you can only get from GI, with our 50 cal and all the way up to our pro grade 4-star GI. Here at Pro Shop, we offer all types of different markers, packs, as well as jerseys and gear bags and all of your paintball needs. We do offer specials on park entrances since we do own Predator, which is our 5 pass and our 10 pass. Also, if you purchase the paintballs here at Pro Shop, you get $10 off your entry fee out of the park. Just want to say thank you guys for coming in and checking us out and for supporting your local paintball store and your local paintball park, which is Pro Shop Paintball and Predator Paintball Park.
Welcome back. 2018 National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships. I'm Matty Marshall with Kevin Catfish Garcia, and right now it's the last set of the day. Temple taking on Clemson. See what happens here in this break, and it looks like Temple gets a pretty solid break. They get a body into D2, so they are playing the aggressor here. But before we get into this action on the field, let's check in with Lauren. Looks like she has an update on Clemson.
Hey guys, yeah, Clemson's been having a rough day. They played Purdue and the Miami Redhawks. They lost both tournaments. They said they've just been plagued with penalties, bad breaks, and so going into this one, they said they know that they're playing regardless tomorrow, so they're just trying to figure out the layout, see if they can squeak out a win, but they know this is going to be their toughest match of the day, and they didn't have great matches going into it. Back to you.
You can see the rankings there on your screen, and as Clemson coming into this one ranked 3rd and Temple 5th. So on paper, Clemson should be the favorite here, but we're just talking to Mike Sapanis, the coach for Drexel, a longtime player here in the NCPA and host of the paintball podcast with the NXL. And he was saying Temple's one of his picks. Feels like there's a lot of returning players on this team that are hungry to get after it here at the championships, and so we will see. They're looking real good, though, Catfish, in this first point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all the teams that have returning players seem to be doing real well right now in the early stages of the tournament here. Just, you know, veteran leadership for the newer recruits here.
Yeah, just looking like feasting out there here as Frayne comes now past the 50-yard line, and that should do it. There are no players left alive here for Clemson, so Temple making pretty short work of them. But Catfish, I like the game plan that Temple went with there, setting a body to D2 off the break, and then making some quick moves. They sent Frayne into the snake pretty much right after that. Still walking that flag in here.
It looked like Clemson off the break sent the players dead center up to those 2 white stand-ups. I think he was looking to read away because the guy getting into snake definitely didn't take any heat.
Yeah, Clemson, unfortunately, didn't have much forward progression. They went out wide, and just Temple made D2 and then snake 2. Then with some moves in the center, they won a couple gunfights, just made pretty quick work of Clemson. And like Lauren was saying, Clemson struggling here, but 5th overall, so they're going to have to pick it up. And like Mike Zapp was saying, Temple does look pretty strong. Look, I've only seen them in 1 point now, so it's a little too early to say how good they are looking. So we will have to see. And it looks like Lauren does have some info on Temple for us. Lauren, what do you got?
Hey, yeah, so this is Temple's second match of the day. They went 9-2 versus Tennessee, so they're feeling really good coming into this match. They're confident, they're calm, they're a little cocky, like they usually are, but it seems to work out for them. They just said that they're here to have fun and they want to get this win and end day one here at the Nationals with 3 wins in their pocket. Back to you.
Yeah, and Temple with some of these returners, Sherry, Kutzler, Dugan. These are guys we've seen out here on this field that have proven that they can play at this level. So, but as far as favorites are concerned, it's kind of tough for me to tell. I got to mention Liberty, as they completely destroyed Akron. They completely destroyed Drexel. Only 1 point scored on them in those 2 games. It doesn't get much better than that, but they did lose to FAU. Yeah. FAU beats UCF, who's the returning champions, and not only are they returning champs, but they are bringing back a ton of their starters from last year when they won that championship. So you have to still put the Knights up there, even with that loss to FAU. FAU also made it to the final game, getting defeated by the Knights, so FAU should be a favorite, especially because they've already beaten Liberty, and that was a come-from-behind victory for them. I really liked what we saw at Miami when they took on Purdue. It was a close game, 5-3. NC State was attacking. They looked pretty solid against UConn. UConn were no slouches, though, and then Penn State just absolutely destroyed Tennessee. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. I think FAU is going to be one of my favorites. It's going to be interesting to see how long they last. We're only running 7 guys this tournament.
Well, we'll see. And our boy Corbin Robson from FAU played really well in that match. So definitely one of the stars out here for college paintball. And right now, Temple on your left, Clemson on your right. Clemson attacking that center of the field as they get a body up to the wedge in the center. First body to drop looks like from Temple. Temple losing 2 bodies.
Yeah, two quick ones.
This is Clemson's opportunity as they have a bit of a body advantage. They send their Snake 1 player into Snake 1, and he looks cross field. No one in the Snake right here. There's the 3 bodies left alive for Temple, all in the back spots. Back center Temple, back bunker on the D side, and back bunker on the Snake side.
Look like Clemson making a move over to the Snake side or back up the Snake player. I don't know what the Clemson coach is having him move up.
Well, the only body that's shooting at the Snake 1 right now is the back bunker. And here comes a move from Temple, getting into D2, but he gets taken out. So I like where his head's at. Sometimes when you're on the defense, the best way to turn things around is to go at the team. Unfortunately, he gets taken out trying to get into D2. So just 2 players left alive right now for Temple. Back bunker in the center and back bunker here on the Snake side still. Clemson, Catfish looks now making moves on the D side.
Yeah, it looks like Clemson player that was in that red brick at the center is like using a blind spot to shield himself from the stand-up, center stand-up. Trying to get that angle shot on the Snake. Let's see what happens here. Clemson needs to push a little bit more aggressive, in my opinion, Matt. Like, this Snake player needs to be down. The coach needs to be telling him what. I mean, here we go. And on cue, here comes the coach. For this Clemson player to make his next move into the Snake 50 here. That's being backed up by his back player, coming all the way up to the red brick. Oh, shooting out that stand-up.
Catfish really like how Clemson is tight here, closing this point out. Just as I say that, one of them runs to his death, but it doesn't matter. Still a bunch of bodies left, and as they hang that flag up, going to tie this game up at 1 with 5:53 to go. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Well, you're in Vegas, obviously. There's a lot of distractions, and it's the first event, which is always unique compared to the other ones. You don't really know what to expect from new teams and new roster changes, right? Everybody thinks, you know, these big moves are happening and the whole pro division's remapped, if you will. And so there's kind of a lot of buzz at the first event. Oh, how's this going to happen? How's this going to, they changed the bunkers, right? So that's another thing, kind of everybody's still waiting to see what happens on a tournament field with tournament refs, with tournament paint. And again, you're in Vegas, so there's plenty of distraction just already built in.
Josh Mountain from Scottsdale Elevation.
Tim Russellback, I play for Sacramento DMG.
My name's Will, I play for New York Extreme.
Marvin Gerber, number 38, I play for Sacramento DMG.
Slava from Emerald Kings.
Welcome to the 2018 NXL Las Vegas Open. I'm Matty Marshall alongside Nick Slovak. We're here at Craig Ranch Regional Park. A little outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. The new season is upon us, and we have a new day in professional paintball. 20 professional teams will be taking the field here in order to compete to try to see who's going to win this first event. Tie ball game, 1-1 is your score. I really like, Catfish, what we saw out of Clemson. It was already kind of gut check time, and you can see there today Clemson losing to Miami 4-6. So apparently Clemson losing or riding the struggle bus, according to Lauren when she was talking to him. But it's good to see the fight out of them here.
Yeah,
in that
definitely.
point, Temple, from what Mike Zapp was saying, he's like, look, these guys, I really feel they're ready for it. I feel like they're a favorite here. And looking at some of the returners and the names I'm reading on this roster, I don't doubt him. But so Clemson, though, with the struggles they've had, it was good to see him here tie this one up.
Temple making a move to the center red brick on the D side.
And let's check in with Lauren with an update from Temple.
Yeah, before this point, Clemson was telling me that they're playing differently in this match than they were in their first two against Purdue and Redhawks that they lost. They're playing angry. They want to win one, and they said they're playing aggressive, and they're going to keep that aggression up.
Well, they try to counter the aggression of Temple's. Temple just stacking up with Boucheri and the Snake. They also have two players in those bricks, and they tried to counter those moves, but just Temple dominating the lanes here and rolling their guns and just destroying players from Clemson left and right, and that looks like it's going to do it. So after taking those 50-yard line bunkers on the D side and in the center end, into the Snake, a full court press from Temple to put their second point on the board and take a 1-point lead as long as Boucheri is clean.
Boucheri got some bling around the neck. Do you see that?
Yeah, Boucheri returning one of the stars for Temple, and did a real good job getting quickly into the Snake. And that was a really solid point. I mean, when they were making those moves, it wasn't like Clemson was completely decimated yet. They were still going into some guns. But
yeah. And they were definitely the aggressor in the beginning here. But
so 4 minutes and 46 seconds left to go in this first half. Now the question is, Catfish, is Clemson going to answer back?
Well, they need to. It's not, we'll see what they do. I mean, setting that guy up to that the white center wedge is, I think, working. But I think he needs to need to put him on the Snake side, possibly look to Snake side.
Well, we haven't. You correct me if you think I'm wrong from what you've seen, but we really haven't seen players on any team all day today struggle to get up into the important bunkers.
No, not at all.
There's been a few guys here or there getting shot off the break, more on the Snake side and more on Phil's. But as far as getting guys up to the bricks, getting guys into on the Dorito side of the field, the attackers have not really had a problem. Where I've really seen the problem is once they get there, where do they go from that spot?
Yeah.
And then also, and this is a big one too, is the survivability for those twos and the threes, those second attackers and the back players. Those guys have been struggling today on most teams.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the thing with Clemson. We just watched them. We watched Temple get into those important spots, and Clemson tried to make some counter moves, not able to do it because there were so many guns in those spots. So now I'm just wondering, I really hope that Clemson tries to play aggressive here because the defensive mindset, at least right here in this college ball, and we'll see moving on to Dallas with the same layout, what's going to work and what's not. But offense is working, defense not so much.
Yeah, and Clemson seems to favor those center wedges, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do here in this next point. Down a point.
Well, and also interesting to see which routes these guys are running, trying to get up into these front bunkers, because this is a unique layout. We haven't seen a layout that I can remember where you can see just a direct drive right down the pipe in the center of the field where you can shoot back at your opponent, so you're forced to go around. But once you go around, and look at this. See, everyone makes it clean. And a huge move from Clemson to come and execute the player for Temple.
Clemson player just running
and he is
amok.
still going. No one's picked him up. Gets at least a 3-pack. He's still alive. He's going to get 4, count at 5. I think he just for sure got 4. And it looks
clean.
like he is still clean. So what was I talking about? That's what I'm talking about.
They heard you.
He comes up, drops the hammer on the big brick in the red zone, and he's pumped up right now as well. He should be. Try to read his number. And that was just some beautiful work by Marston Conti. Marston Conti with the huge counterpunch move, coming through offset from the D side, stitches up the first guy, no one picks him up, still on the run through, gets all the way to the backfield, and then just starts obliterating the back line of Temple. Beautiful work, at least a 4-pack.
Definitely a 4-pack. I mean, it was key to get that, like you said, that early brick off the field. Yeah, look at him pointing up this way.
Hey, that was beautiful. If we could, hey, so we got Conti over here asking, Conti, I was literally asking for someone on your team to do what you just did, so thank you so much for answering my prayers. Beautiful job.
That's what it's all about,
Kid
man.
came to
These
ball,
kids,
man.
yeah.
That's why I like the
Kids.
college ball.
Yeah.
Smiles all around. Everyone's so just stoked to be here. Let's watch this replay. Look at this. Marston Conti off to the races, untouched, gets all the way into the backfield. He's looking for guns. He's looking for kills. He realizes that nobody's looking at him, just dicing bodies up.
Yeah.
Beautiful work. Referees swarm him, seeing if he's hit, and he is clean.
And here comes the fist pumping right here.
Has a superstar run through right there. Chalk that one up on the MVP. We'll see how things shake out. But if Clemson can come back and win this game, then that's the momentum shifter as they tie things up here. So they've been able to answer twice now. Temple goes up one, Clemson answers. Temple dominates the next one, and Clemson with Marston Conti just murdering people on the run through.
Yeah, definitely murdered a few, 4 of them to be exact. Look for Temple to possibly try and get that down, get that that lane down, or start shooting that lane that Conti ran through. There was like nobody watching that lane when Conti came through.
That's the biggest run through we've seen today. We haven't seen anything like that today. We've seen some great moves. Don't get me wrong, but no exclamation point on it like that. I mean, the way Marston came through, just with the speed, he knew where he was going to execute that first guy, and I love the continuation, is that he had as soon as he got his first guy, and he kept going through, realizing he wasn't taking any pressure, no paint coming back at him, it's beautifully executed. So now back into this next one.
Looks like that bit a little bit too much land over there on the Dorito side. That's 3 Clemson players come off.
But here comes now Boucheri answering, and he gets into the 50-yard line. So 2 bodies coming off for Clemson. So a seesaw battle back and forth is now Temple pushing past the 50-yard line on the D side of the field. Already Boucheri had dove into the 50-yard line here at the Snake. He's getting peppered, though. Body right in front of him. And then now he's going to Boucheri switches his gun, and he gets run down.
I bet that's...
So still, though, unfortunately for Clemson, yeah. So that was a great move to come and take down Boucheri, but like I've been talking about, bodies dropping behind him, so no one left back there, and Temple roaring back to take a 1-point lead again. So this has been quite the seesaw back and forth battle here, Catfish.
Yes, it has. Let's see if maybe if they're going to send Conti to do that run through again.
Yeah, that's a game breaker right there. So 3 minutes and 19 seconds left to go here in the first half, as it is definitely continuing to become hot and humid. And when you're running point after point after point like this with the aggression, diving into these front bunkers and, speeding on the run-throughs, we'll see if fatigue's going to be an issue.
Yeah, and for those teams that are coming, with 7 guys, it's going to definitely fatigue's going to be an issue. Right in this heat.
Well, let's see if they send Conti back out, man. I've been running that kid. When you get somebody playing like that with that huge game-breaking move, I'd send him out as much as he could go. Looks like he's sitting down for this one, though.
So we got a Clemson player winded over there.
Yep, sucking some wind. Looks like that is D2. And it looks like so far at least made it in clean. No, Conti ended up getting clipped as he tried to get in there. So
too much, biting off too much.
4 players alive right now for Clemson. And haven't seen anyone walk off for Temple. Good break for them. 2:46 to go here in the first half.
I think Conti's still in the game, Matt. That was that player coming off the center brick that got eliminated as he ran into it.
Oh, that was the center brick.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe Conti is alive still over on the D side. I feel he is. There's Conti on your screen. He's at D2, the hero from a few points ago. And you're looking at the snake as Temple makes a move into snake 1. He has a back player who's offset at the can. And then here comes Temple launching into D2 to mirror that move up that Conti made earlier. I like the counter moves that Temple's making.
Yeah, definitely.
Like these secondaries. It looks like they've really walked this field, definitely did their homework and starting to figure out what's effective and what's not. More often than not, Temple is able to make those secondary moves.
Temple definitely looking strong right now, and they're playing up, you know, a little aggressive, but yet conservative at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well, I'm picking up what you're putting down. You're basically saying that they're aggressive into their secondary move, that they're making those moves, so that's the aggression, but they're going smart.
Yeah,
they're utilizing the timing. They're not forcing anything. Chin now in to snake 2 for Temple.
Looks like Conti getting eliminated out of those Doritos over there.
So Conti coming off, and now Temple's going to launch in the center of the field, trying to get into the red zone, get into the wedge. They're looking towards the snake like they think the snake is hot, but there's no one in the snake, so this is some bad communication right here. Chin should be telling his center guys, or more importantly, Kuzler, their coach here, standing on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Because they're playing like the snake's hot, and it's not.
They are. They definitely are. The wall behind the snake is hot. The snake is.
All 4 players that are alive for Temple as they lost a body are all at the 50-yard line and in the red zone.
That's a wrap. Looks like Temple taking another point here.
Temple going to go up by 2 with under a minute to go. Going to slowly walk that flag in. Okay, now he's going to jog. So he was asking, he's like, should I just... Yeah, I'm wondering why he asked the coach. I just heard from their pit say, hey, no, put the points up. Well, yeah, of course. So 44 seconds left to go. We're going to have at least one more point here. In this first half, with a 2-point lead for Temple. So in a game that was blow by blow through the first half, Temple starting to edge out here, now up by 2. But like you said, Catfish, when you said, you know, they're playing conservative, but they're playing aggressive at the same time, if that makes any sense. Yes, it does, because they're playing aggressive in the sense that they're not scared to make their secondary moves, but they're making those moves at the right time.
Yeah, smart.
Smart, slow, methodical, small bites. They're not taking huge, skipping 3 bunkers and diving somewhere in. They're not doing that. They're just, and you could see, because at one point they had their 4 players that left alive all stacked up in these 50 bunkers, hunting for those last couple kills. So, though Clemson is also playing aggressive. They're making moves in the center. Conti out there on the D side of the field. They've also been getting in the snake. But Temple is just a little bit better than they are right now. And I think that goes down to what you're saying. Temple seems to be a little bit more slow and methodical. Still aggressive, but just they're making the smarter moves. And let's check in with Lauren Kelly, get a little update.
Hey guys, going into this match though, Conti had been playing most of the points in the last 2 matches against Purdue and Redhawks and told his team that he could not play every single point in this one. So he's actually sitting this point. He took his pack off. I'm not sure how long he'll be sitting out.
Definitely has his pack off.
Well, they're going to need him because since they've already been struggling here today and they're now down by 2, this is a close game. This is one of the, we saw some good paintball today. This is one of the closer games that we've seen. 44 seconds left in this first half. He's going to get a little bit of a break here with this point, and then we'll head into the halftime, 5-minute halftime period. So he should be able to get a little bit of a break. But it's not chilly out here. No. It's really warm, high 80s, and definitely the humidity has kicked up here in the afternoon. There's no breeze anymore. There was a breeze earlier on, so conditions not favorable to guys running point after point after point now here in their 3rd game of the day.
Yeah, fatigue going to set in quickly. Looks like we got all 5 Temple players alive, making that small bite into Snake 1, looking for that cross-field shot. Looks like Clemson player coming off. Looks like Temple players are just into the red zone at will at this point.
They're trying to get this other point, though. Yeah. I like you said, man, I really like how Temple's making these secondary moves and not scared to go when they need to and trying to close this point out to put another one on the board before we get to halftime. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. They just lose Chin. He gets shot trying to get past the 50-yard line here on the Snake side. They have one body left alive in the center as time expires. So the score heading into the halftime period, we'll have a 5-minute break, and it's going to be Temple 4 and Clemson 2. The Owls looking pretty sharp.
Yeah, real sharp. Got a little 2-point lead going into the half is always nice.
The Tigers have some fight in them, though. This is a scrappy Clemson Tiger squad. But because, like Lauren was saying, with Conti, and it is tough if you're one of the main guys.
One of the
playing
killers. Yeah.
One of the killers, and so they're going to have you out on the field as much as possible. And we're here in their 3rd game of the day.
Do you think we'll see Conti in the second half here, Matt?
I hope so. I definitely hope so. He still doesn't have his pack on, and he's helping clean guys up. Still looks a little winded.
Maybe we get Lauren or Super Spy down there.
So I think that Clemson still has a chance in this. 2-point spread, that's not that many points.
Yeah.
You got a full 10-minute second half to deal with. Clemson's, they just need to play a little bit more aggressive. They need to do what Temple's doing. They need to filter up into these centers, these center bunkers, and just a little bit more survivability. It's been definitely the key period out here this entire time. And for every game and all of these, all the games we've seen, those 2s and those 3s, if you lose 2 of those guys in a point, that's it, man.
Yeah.
You're going to really put your front guys out on a ledge to get bunkered. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
I'm JD Lukow. We're here at Paintball Fit, Waxahachie, Texas. Probably one of the #1 things that makes our field different is the reason why we're here and why we do it. I started playing at 18. It was the first time I ever picked up a paintball gun. It was an old PGP pump pistol, and fell in love with the game. My sons were just babies at the time. Actually, every one of them, for me to introduce them to paintball was at 6 years old. Donnie, Brody, and Colt, my wife Sarah, and we wanted to have a place to play that was close, and we wanted something where this is the Gold's Gym of paintball. That's what we wanted. We wanted people to come here and enjoy the day. Whether you're playing or you're watching, it's a nice environment to be in. Ron, the owner of Mad Dog's Paintball Park, was a good friend of mine for years. He has a scenario play out here. So we came together and created a partnership where I would take care of all the tournament stuff. Johnny and Brody and Colt would take care of business here, and it was a business for them to run, but be focused on tournament ball. So us as a family started doing it. We started with one field and our reball center. Now, a year and a half later into it, we've made our facility up top. We've added 3 more turf fields. We have air in all the pits. We're just trying to do everything we can do to make it a fun place for you to come and not only enjoy the game, but enjoy the camaraderie of the people. As you all probably already know, some of the best people in the world play paintball. Another thing that we do here, Johnny, Brody, and Colt will quickly put up a layout. So if you have a tournament that you're going to be playing, contact us. We'll be more than happy to get that layout up for you and ready for you to practice. Also, besides just practices out here, we host a lot of different tournaments, from the USXBL to the NTXL to the National Collegiate Paintball Association. We host their tournaments out here. Our goal is to provide you a facility to become the best that you can be. And that's what Paintball Fit is about.
We are back. 2018 National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships here in Orlando, Florida, and it is a scorching afternoon. Here, 84 degrees with 44% humidity, so it's been worse. The wind, I feel like it was 10 miles per hour, but that is not here anymore. There's no breeze out here currently. And, yeah, so these teams are going to switch sides. Clemson is now going to be on your left-hand side, which means that they're pushing down this snake side right-handed, left-handed on the D side. And Temple is now going to be left-handed in the snake. So sometimes that's an issue. Some players do favor their dominant hand. Some guys are comfortable both ways. It just totally depends on how much training they've done, how long they've been doing this. But that can be an issue. So we'll see if the story remains the same for both sides of the field. And here now Temple, who is up by 2. We're going to throw 10 minutes on the clock here in this second half in the last set of Friday's competition. And it looks like an aggressive breakout for Clemson. I like this as they take D2 pretty much off the break. And also the 50 brick in the center, and then secondary, another body up there. So very quickly, Clemson finds himself in great field position, Catfish.
Yeah, they do. Being that aggressor up the middle since the start here, but let's see if this pans out for them, because that player's been losing his gun battles.
Well, this is the issue. So guys will stack up in these crucial spots, and then they'll either have a hard time pushing into the guns, but also what we've really seen is they start losing their back players. So there's still 2 players for Clemson in the back corner bunker on the D side and back bunker in the center. He's going to try to get out wide. They do lose one of their attackers in the center, and they lose their back player filling out here on the snake side. So this continues to plague teams. Going into tomorrow, I hope this is something the guys really look at. Look, you're going to lose bodies. It's paintball. You're going to get shot out of your spot. It's fine. But when you see certain tendencies and certain field layouts, that you really have to bring that up, discuss that in your meetings, and really focus on trying to fix that as much as you can, knowing that, yeah, you're going to still lose bodies occasionally. But Temple, they haven't lost any bodies, still looking pretty strong, trying to deal with the aggression from Clemson, though.
Yeah, like Clemson, I mean, their initial moves are great, but there's no secondary moves after that, Matt. And if they are secondary moves, it's pretty sloppy. Looks like a Temple player trying to do a run through on the Dorito side and gets caught. Oh.
And a nice counter move to get into snake 1 and get a kill, but I think Temple just drew a penalty. See if it's a major or a minor. Did you see the flag, Catfish?
I didn't see the flag. I did not see the flag.
And I don't see anyone in the box.
Yeah, there is a guy
in the box. So they just put a player in the box. So it looked like Temple with Frayne was doing some damage control on a counterattack, but then they get a penalty, and now all of a sudden it looks like we might have a one-on-one situation here with Frayne and the snake for Temple, and then a body that might be Conti again over there.
It's one-on-one right now,
man.
I
don't see Conti in the pit, so I think that is Conti over there in this one-on-one situation.
No, Conti's in the pit.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. You're right. It's not Conti. So Clemson still with a body who's pushing up here, trying to win this one-on-one. This would be a huge one.
Oh, man. What's left on that penalty,
Egbert. Kristen Egbert is the body alive on the field here for Clemson, taking on Frayne. Frayne's made some counter moves here, trying to come back a little bit closer and get a better angle. Goes to the mini can.
I think Fame needs to go the other way and allow his player coming out of the penalty box.
Oh, and Fame gets shot out by Christian Egbert. So Clemson now is going to pull within 1. That is what they wanted to happen here in a relatively long point, and trying to preserve the penalty on that major penalty that Temple drew. 44 seconds left on the major. So Temple's going to start down a body, and Clemson's only going to be down 1 with 7 minutes to go here in the second half. So it's getting a little interesting. This is one of my favorite games of the day.
2-point lead is going away at the current moment, and they're doing this without Conti. Not to say that one player makes that big of a difference, but you need a killer out there.
It's a momentum starter.
Yeah.
You get that confidence. So let's check in with Lauren. Looks like she has an update, I think, with Clemson.
Yeah, I was talking to Conti during the halftime, and he said they're really not stressing over this match too much. They know that Temple is an aggressive team. They want to come out here and they want to try to match their aggression. He said sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. But because they are second in their conference, they're automatically making it into Saturday. So he says their main focus is just to figure out some things on this layout, break it down as much as they can, and then regroup tonight and talk about what they need to tighten up in order to have a better day tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's keep our wits about us here. If I'm Clemson, they haven't had a bad game. They are playing, according to Mike Zapanis, one of the favorites here in Temple, and not looking too bad. But like you said, Catfish, they've had a couple individuals step up.
Yeah.
They just had they had Christian Egbert step up and win a one-on-one against Frayne, so to save that point and keep them within 1. And then earlier, if you missed it, the best move of the tournament so far with Marston Conti running down on that D side of the field and getting a pretty brilliant 4-pack.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a beautiful move.
So
they
now
got both of those players in the pit
looks like,
right
did
now.
Temple get a, oh, sorry, there's that penalty still on Temple. But so we'll see. They start here down 4, down with just 4, down a body with 4 bodies.
Yeah.
Clemson has an opportunity to tie it up here. It's good, though, that Conti was saying that they were being calm about it, not beating each other up about some of the mistakes that they've been making out there. So, yeah, so Clemson still close here, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back here to Orlando, Florida, 2018 NCPA Championships, and you can see the temperature for so it's 84 degrees, which isn't that bad. I mean, it's definitely nasty when you got all your gear on and you're sprinting out to your spot. So I feel for the guys. Yeah. It's been worse. It's been 104 before, but inside the production truck, it's a nice, cozy 69 degrees.
I feel for those guys in the production truck.
It's just so tough to sit in that air-conditioned production truck.
It's, I wouldn't want that.
I'm sure, making sure they're wearing their hoodies. You know, we don't want them to get too chilly in there.
They might get frostbite in there.
So we were here last set of Friday's competition, and Clemson hanging tough with Temple. Temple just a little bit better right now, and I think that's because they are playing this field a little bit more aggressive. That seems to be the difference. And also better survivability for their back players. If you combine taking those front spots in the red zone with keeping back players behind you, seems pretty simple, tough to do, but those are the teams that are doing better out here.
And then dropping a player off the break, having 4 players current moment. Looks like they got one in Snake 2. Oh, Temple losing Snake 1 player out.
So Temple does lose their attacker here on the Snake side. Clemson able to get their body into Snake 2.
Wow. Just those big bites is costing them, man. And we saw a player just run from the center stand-up out to the back stand-up right behind the Snake player and did not make it. That's the second time we've seen him do that move.
Well, a body, though, comes off for Temple, and here comes Clemson now with needing a point to tie. 6 minutes and 14 seconds left, and they have a player in good position to do it with Zach Norman. Oh, but then Zach Norman just loses a gunfight. That's the gunfight you do not want to lose.
Yeah.
When you're the only guy on a side of the field, your team's only down by 1, and you're in the crucial spot, lose your gunfight in the first 15 seconds, you're in that bunker. It's a rough go of it. Then also, as we say, we're talking about was it Clemson getting shot out?
Yeah,
Clemson dying over here. They lose another body on the D side.
Look at Boucher here, all laced up in the gold chain, laced up, son.
Yeah, Boucher with the bling, making light work here of the last couple guys left alive for Clemson, kind of shutting the door here on that point. Nice work by Boucher with 5 minutes and 32 seconds left. That was a clutch point for him. That is going to put Temple up by 2 with enough time for 2 or 3 points. So we still got ourselves a game here.
Yeah.
But this point right here, this is the point for Clemson.
Yeah.
Clemson loses this next point, this game's over. Then it's just going to be what's the point spread.
Looks like Conti's going to take a spin right here. So he's getting ready to walk out on the field.
So yeah, at this point in time, I really would, if I was Conti, I'd want to be on that field, and it looks like he is going to take the field. Got himself a pretty solid rest. So you can see here with the body for Clemson on the left-hand side of your screen, going to win that gunfight there. And then here comes Boucher.
Ooh.
He had already got a kill at that point, catches the last player left alive for Clemson sleeping. And as he's rocking that gold chain, just like I said, making light work of the last couple players. So there was the hero earlier in this match of the best move of the tournament so far, Marston Conti. And let's check in with Lauren.
Hey guys, so Temple is in a pretty good position right now. They'll be in an even better position if they get this next point. It'll give them a 3-point lead here for this second half. But Kutzler was on the sidelines here, still not happy with the team. He was shaking his head saying that everyone just needs to calm down. Everybody's talking over everybody. They need to work as a team, just take a deep breath and take this win home.
Small mistakes, right?
Yep.
Small mistakes will kill you occasionally. Clemson, they haven't looked bad at all.
No.
They're not getting beat up. It's still a close game. They could totally win this game. Just really need to really work on the survivability. Like you were saying, the moves, those secondary moves, very much the difference here so far.
It just looked like they're taking too big of a bite on that second move.
Clemson on your screen.
And here comes that wind, Matt.
Yeah, the wind is now picking back up, and we also have a little bit of clouds. That's going to help these guys out here. Again, 84 is not bad. We've had way worse before. I've played some tournaments down here where it was well over 100 degrees with 90% humidity. That sucked. But when you have all your gear on, disastrous break for Clemson.
3 players.
I'd blow the horn.
Yeah.
I would blow the horn right now, preserve the time, because then you'll still have 5 minutes left. You're down by 3, but it's 2 on 5 right now. And all Temple's going to do is that's what they should do.
Yeah.
They're not listening to us, though, and they're just going to go on the attack and finish off Clemson. And that is it. So making just real quick work here in this point. Temple off the break shots dialed in. Get 2 kills on the break, another one right after that. That left just 2 players. Those guys lose their gunfights, and a perfect point for Temple. Chin's going to run that flag in.
Like another point.
I don't know why he's running the flag in, though. You have...
Yeah.
You want as much. If I'm Temple, I want as much time off that clock as possible. Force Clemson to concede it. Clemson should have conceded the point when it was 2 on 5. Let's check out this replay. So here comes the fill out to the back corner bunker here on the snake side of the field for Clemson.
Just sloppy, like
Drake Morte.
A little sloppy there.
So Clemson, with the struggles here at the outset of that last point, Temple really proven how good those off-the-break shots are for them. Really has helped out for this in this particular match. Though that really hasn't been the story of the match. I feel the story of the match has been some sloppy secondary fills for Clemson. I think that's what Lauren was saying about the situation with the coach.
Yeah.
Saying I'm kind of disappointed in my guys right now because they're making some mistakes out here that could be easily cleaned up to make this a much closer match. Temple, on the other hand, I love the aggression Temple showing. Obviously, they just displayed some beautiful off-the-break shots in that last point. Maintaining their composure in the close points. Looking pretty good here.
Yeah, looking real good. Like you said earlier about those controlled secondary moves are just a lot cleaner when they're coming down the Temple side.
And what do we always say? If you want to win the games, win the close points, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have those moments where it's 2 on 2, 3 on 2. In those situations, you win those close points, they add up, and Temple has definitely won the majority of the close points out here. It's been a fun game to watch, though.
Yeah, definitely a fun game.
So now Clemson, with 4 minutes and 46 seconds left in a 3-point spread, really going to have to start riding that Razors' aggressive edge of pushing forward into guns. They're not quite at the do-or-die time yet, because 4 minutes and 46 seconds left. 3 points. You could get it. You don't have to cannonball down the field quite yet. But in about a minute, then they're going to have to start really forcing the moves. So it looks like Clemson tries to extend a body up the center off the break. He gets shot, so 4 bodies alive for them. They do get
one Temple player come walking off.
So it's 4 on 4. Actually make that 3 on 4 as Clemson's back player on the D side loses his gunfight. Oh, and his gun gets picked up. That's never a good sign. So the referee has taken the gun away from the Clemson player. And he's going to come and argue with the ref right now.
He wants a pod.
Oh, no, he threw his
he wants a pot of
bail
paint.
cover at him. So the referee still has the Clemson player's gun.
What do you think? Is
If I'm Temple, pump the brakes. You got a 3-point lead. Burn this clock off.
Yeah.
That's like when he was running the flag in earlier in that last point.
It's raining men.
So a red flag thrown in the air, and that is probably going to do it here because Clemson gets another player pulled. Thought they were going to grab another one. And there goes another player getting shot at the center. Yeah, it's just the
snake player's going to get a back massage from
starting to fall apart for Clemson right now.
Oof.
Looking forward to getting an update here on what the issue is with the gun.
Too fast, probably. Too fast. Do you know the speed you were driving, sir? Too fast. Who was that? Whose gun was that?
Dane O'Donnell going to hang that flag up for Temple. Well, for Clemson right now, it's Drake Morte who's still out there discussing stuff with the referee. So the referee pulls the player out of the back bunker on the D side and grabs his gun. Bad sign.
Yeah.
Anytime a referee has a player's gun in his hand in the middle of a point, if you're in the pits, it's a little scary. So you can see here on this replay, and there is, the player looking nervous. And there's the penalty thrown. You can see him scratch his head, shake his head, go, oh, this, I'm going to get yelled at for this one.
Who was that?
That was Drake Morte, number 18. So let's check down with Lauren, see if she can give us a little bit more info on this penalty assessed on the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate penalty for them. It was because they were one of the players was shooting hot, so unfortunately they will be starting a body down going into this next point.
Worst case scenario for Clemson, trying to attempt a comeback. They're now down 4. Yeah, I mean, this game's over.
Are you writing them off, Matt?
Yes, it's 3 minutes and 8 seconds left. They're down a body, and they're down 4 points. They only have scored 3. They need 4 just to tie, and there's only 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go.
And a man down.
And a man down. So the situation is the same, though, and that situation is Clemson has to push forward. Even if they start, doesn't matter. This is when I'm not really going to knock you too hard if you're making a ridiculous aggressive move running into guns, because you have no choice.
Yeah.
Now, if you're Temple, carry an extra pot of paint out, get out to your spot, and never stop shooting your gun.
Just lock it down.
Talk it up, shoot your gun, burn the time off, solidify the win.
Just wait for those Clemson players to run into those guns.
This was a good test for Temple, though. Clemson they hung tough with them, so Temple had to fight through some adversity.
Yeah.
It's a good learning experience here for Temple, having to, like I said, fight against the adversity that Clemson brought out. And Clemson loses another body.
Yeah, Temple players aren't going anywhere right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, and they don't need to. They haven't lost a body yet. Still 5 players alive for them. Did make a move up in the center.
Oh, Temple player coming off on that Doritos side. Taking the walk of shame.
Well, one of the Clemson players won a gunfight, and then they lose a gunfight. Trading bodies.
Yeah. What is it, 2-on-3?
Yeah, Frayne back in the snake for Temple, and looks like Temple also made a move up to the center, but then getting shot out of their spot. So this is kind of what I was talking about. No need to do that.
Yeah.
If you're a Temple, you don't need to make that move to the 50 brick, and if you do make it in there clean, don't really need to recklessly engage with anybody in a gunfight, because you have a giant lead and there's not much time left. You need to take a page out of Impact's book. Cross it up, man.
Yeah.
Burn the time off. Win the game.
It looks like that's happening now. Looks like that penalty is about to drop off here, Matt.
Yeah, Clemson does get their body back, and he's going to try to get out wide on the snake side, and doesn't make it.
Does not make it. Wah, wah, wah. Still 2 Clemson players alive. It's a 2-on-2 man.
I think we're probably going to see another point here. I mean, we'll see. There's 1 minute and 28 seconds left to go, but Clemson trying to hold on with a few, 1 player left alive, 2? Oh, no, both back center bunkers.
There's 3, yeah. It's a 3-on-2 right now.
And there goes the one out of the Aztec.
And here comes the paint train,
yeah, here comes the run through, and he gets taken out. So as we reach the minute mark, coming up on the minute mark, see if they just burn this time off. Nope. Gonna run back. Well, he runs past his guy. Frayne's just chilling by the flag. Finally gonna flag up and slow walk it in. Doesn't look like Clemson's gonna concede to try to play another one. They're just gonna let this one go.
Yeah. This guy should take a knee right next to that bunker. Or just stop right there.
Normally the college guys don't like to do that, though.
Yeah.
They're all about playing as many points as they possibly can. So I'm wondering what Frayne's going to do. Frayne's just hanging out.
Yeah.
Gonna wait until that gets under 10 seconds, and then he's going to hang it up,
behind the bunker
and that should
trick.
do it.
It was a great game by Temple.
Temple looked awesome.
Yeah, they did. Definitely looked good. They looked strong.
Clemson looked scrappy, but Temple looked great.
Oh man, they're talking back and forth. Both pits are talking back and forth.
Oh, are they? Are they getting after it a little bit?
I think so. Conti yelled over to the Temple side. Once the Temple guys started cheering, you can hear them cheering from their pits, and Conti and a couple of the other guys here did not like that.
So going to be 8 points total scored by Temple here, as Clemson only able to put 3 on the board. But heading into Saturday's competition, if I'm Clemson, I'm not going to beat ourselves up too much in the meeting. They got to tighten things up. There's stuff they need to work on. Survivability for their back players, decisions on the secondary moves they're making.
Yeah.
You cannot just blindly run into lanes.
No, yeah.
You have to really use your timing, try to figure that out. Maybe go back, watch the webcast on some of these teams that were executing a little bit better on those. Liberty, Miami, NC State, Penn State, FAU, Temple.
Yeah, it's all about taking those secondary moves, but taking small bites. I feel like the teams that are taking the small, more methodical bites are actually winning those points and coming through. Where the players that are super aggressive, like Conti was doing on that Dorito side, running past that Dorito 1 and into Dorito 2.
Well, and Conti was also getting shot on some of those secondary moves. Yes, he had a brilliant, amazing best move of the tournament so far, 4-pack run through, but he got shot a couple times on those secondary moves. So, still though, what a beautiful day. What an amazing, awesome, fun day of paintball out here. And before we sign off, let's check in with Lauren.
Hey guys, congratulations on that win. That was your second match of the day, first day here at World Championship. Now you guys are always pretty confident, and I've heard a couple people pick you as their choice for first place winners this year, but how were you guys feeling coming into the match?
It was just a matter of preparing in the snow and the ice, so not feeling the greatest only because of the weather conditions don't really allow you to get out there every weekend like these guys, but it's okay. It makes us tougher, makes us stronger. You play smarter. You got to play a little bit slower, figure things out. We're feeling pretty darn good right now.
Maddie was talking a lot about that on the webcast, about what a disadvantage that is for the East Coast teams, that they have to play indoors, they can't play outdoors. So what specific things do you guys focus on to make sure it's not as much of a problem when you come to a tournament like this?
I mean, a lot of it's just getting prepared, mental preparedness. You put gloves on, heat warmers, 3 layers of socks, long johns, top and bottom, and you just keep digging, You can't change the weather. It's not the AC knob. You can't turn it on or off, but you just got to keep digging. It builds your mentality. You're stuck out in the field freezing, keep playing a little bit harder. Same thing out here. A little hot, but it's cool. Heat goes away. Throw a little water on it. We're good to go.
Just keep the grind up. Well, congratulations on winning 2 matches. You have your last match against Penn State. Good luck with that. And that is a wrap for day 1 for me. Now as this beautiful breeze picks up, see you guys tomorrow.
Oh, the always charismatic Chris Kussler. Nice work by him and the rest of the boys on the Temple University Owls as they take the victory here against Clemson. So it was an awesome day of fun paintball here at the 2018 NCPA National Championships. I'm Maddie Marshall here with Kevin Catfish Arcilla and Chris Lasoya. So join us tomorrow morning, bright and early, 9 a.m. Eastern Time for day 2 of this competition. Going to find out who will be moving on to Sunday. We'll see you then.